What's up, you guys? What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are all having a great day so far today. I am wearing glasses. I'm not sure if you guys could see that or could notice it, but I am. I have glasses on right now, and they're cool. And I'm a hipster, and I drink coffee and ride bikes. Hipster John, yep. So these are actually blue light blockers. I'm not sure if I'll actually wear them for the whole stream. I just wanted to show you them. Do you like them? Do you think they're cool? I hope you guys think they're great. Cool. So, what's up, everybody? We're gonna have a fun stream today, I think. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. What do? They give me superpowers. So if I take these off, I'm like Cyclops, and I have lasers that come out of my eyes. So, you know, you gotta be careful. You don't want to do that. I have a blue light filter on my RX glasses too. Love the glasses. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I have a mustache. I got a man bun. I got glasses. Man, who even am I anymore? It's crazy. It's craziness. Okay. So, a couple things. You guys are all very good looking. It's important to say. What's up, Sean? You guys are my favorites. Okay, so but for real, I've kind of been thinking about streaming and what I want to do moving forward, because obviously I enjoy streaming quite a bit, as you guys have noticed. Also, thank you to Jessica for putting in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, make sure you do that. Okay, make sure you join the Discord so you guys can be part of everything. Because then I'm able to let you guys know when the streams are coming up and stuff like that. So if you're not part of the Discord, make sure you do that. But so I really enjoy streaming, obviously, as you guys have seen. But I know that I can't do it every day. Like, it's just not realistic for me. So what I am thinking about doing, and this is a tentative plan, and I probably shouldn't even be bringing this up. Hey, M. Morales, I just shouted you out in my video that I just got finished. That I just got finished editing. So I just finished editing a full day of eating video. And then so obviously I shouted out all of the people that are Big Chungus member levels on the channel. And we got 5 people now, which is awesome. So if you haven't joined the channel yet and you want to, feel free to hit that join button. You could hit one of the 3 different levels. And yeah, what's up, Christina? But I understand. I know for me personally, I can't stream every single day. And so what I am thinking about doing schedule wise is I am only a mini Chungus. It's okay, R Marsh, I still love you. What is a Chungus? It's just the name of the people that are members on my channel. But so what I think I want to do, geez, I'm getting sidetracked. You guys stop talking to me. Why don't you vlog much anymore? I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy the other types of videos that I make, but you guys will see there'll be a vlog coming out today. Okay. I don't have that join button. Am I the only one? I don't know. Okay, so what I'm thinking about as far as live streaming is concerned is I'm thinking that I want to do Monday, Tuesday at around 1, for the most part. Hopefully, I try to hit 1 o'clock my time, so that's right around now. But I'm not always able to do that. So usually, between 1 and 2 starting. So Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, and then I think I would do Thursday, Friday at the same times. Now, what I'm thinking I might do every once in a while, I kind of want to try this out, but I want to, I would like to maybe try out like a later stream. Is that a Nick Bear shirt? Yeah, this is a BPN shirt. They're sponsored. They're one of my sponsors. See? BPN stuff right there. But I think I might want to try maybe like a late night stream as well, just to see like what the demand is there. See if people can make it to that. I'm just kind of curious to see, because then a big reason why I actually have to stop these streams, like usually they're not super long, is because this room that I'm in, like once the sun starts hitting this window that's right in front of me, it gets really really hot in here, and everything starts overheating. And so like my all of the stuff that I use to make all this work starts to get way too hot, and then everything starts freaking out. Like my monitors start not working correctly. My capture card that I use to use my camera starts like freaking out. So that's usually why I don't do like streams where it's a little bit later in the day for me, because if I do, everything gets kind of janky. I see chips in the background. Don't look at those. They're hiding. What chips? I don't know what you're talking about. There's only a fake pizza back there. Okay. All right. So my friend Danny is here. So I had him join in the Discord. So hopefully this is working correctly. Last time I tried this, it did not work. So let's get him on in here. So 1 second. and we're gonna talk. Me and Danny makes YouTube videos. We will have a nice little discussion. I think it'll be fun. But let's hopefully this works. So that's the goal, is that this works. I swear if it doesn't work, I'm gonna cry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna cry. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go in here, and then I'm gonna drag him in here. Yo.
Gotta make sure to turn down your volume.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. I need to see. Can you guys hear Senor Daniel?
I think I'm on your thing. I can hear myself.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just asking the chat if they can hear you. Because sometimes...
Fine, jeez.
Sometimes it gets all messed up.
So are we doing video? What we doing?
Oh,
boy?
they can... Yes! Okay, yeah, we're going to do video. So I'm going to do video here. And we will make this...
Wow, you're much higher quality than me. Okay, one sec.
Dog, what are you using? A potato, bro? What the heck?
Hey, man, I'm also nerding out fully right here.
Jeez. Dude, I
just have, like, no light.
All right, so let me... Look, it's Danny, everybody. Say hi to Daniel.
I tried to get my light going, but it's not working. One sec. Hola.
Wow, look at me. Wow, I'm such a great live streamer, you guys.
You have such a much better setup. I'm so jealous.
Bro, all this isn't even my... This is just my camera. This is the camera from my laptop that they're seeing right now.
Yeah, some of us can't afford new laptops, John.
Dude, this laptop is like 3 years old now.
No, this one's like 6 years old.
Someone said, Danny, your laptop is stuck in 2010.
I bought it in like 2010, bro. What do you mean?
Oh man, I like the little. You got the gamer mic on, dog.
Yeah, bro.
You a gamer?
I copied your shirt too.
Yeah, I know. How embarrassing would it have been if we were wearing the same shirt? That would have been.
I don't think it would have been the first time.
Yeah, it's true.
To be honest.
Also, I don't know why you're trying to copy me using the using like glasses and stuff, bro. Unbelievable.
I mean, I wear them because I have to.
Okay.
You wear them because you think you're cool, bro.
I don't think I'm cool. Everyone in chat said I look very cool. All right.
Very distinguished. I'm gonna get the video in here and then mute it so I can see the what's going on. But yeah, how are you, man?
I'm good, dude. This is I've been live streaming. I mean, like almost every single day. And so like this is something that I've been wanting to do, and like I've done it a couple times, but everything's starting to kind of finally work a little bit better and like be a little bit smoother. Man, you should have seen like the first time. This is the most hipster stream we've ever seen.
Yeah.
So, but like it's finally starting to get a little bit better. People want me to introduce you because obviously everyone doesn't know you. Okay, so Danny, introduce yourself.
Oh, well, sorry. Yeah, I'm Danny. My YouTube channel was formerly known as Danny Gets Fit, but I changed it recently to Fat Loss and Family because my style of content kind of changed. But I go by Danny Gets Fit still on Instagram, and basically I lost over a majority of time. I lost 150 pounds and then gained some back, and then lost some, and then gained some back, and then lost some, and then gained some back, and then kind of just following that trend. No, but I'm really kind of shifted my kind of focus, overall from weight loss to just weight loss, and as well as overall health and like well-being, and focusing on the mental as well as physical, and kind of diving into the deeper reasons why people end up like where we started. But I've been keeping off anywhere from 80 to 100 pounds now for around 6 years. Yeah, 6 years. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, that's about it.
That's about it. All right. So, and then to the chat, if you guys want to make sure you have a question that's answered, we will try and make sure we answer. Well, we'll make sure that we answer questions at the end when we're kind of done with our little conversation. So, if you do want to leave a super chat, just so I can look at them, I would be grateful. And then if you leave a super chat, your question will for sure be answered. Again, we won't answer it right away, but we'll answer it at the end of the conversation. Okay, so dude, thank you so much for coming on. We've tried to do this like.
The more bread you send to John, the happier he is.
The what?
I said the more bread you send to John, the happier he is.
It's true, man. Let's get this bread. What can I say? Okay, but really, like, so the what I titled this stream was weight loss. The problem with weight loss influencers, because your boy is always clickbaiting, right? And so
Gotta get that drama.
And so I kind of, this is something that me and you talk about quite a bit, like, you know, just like in the DMs or like texting each other, is like with being a weight loss influencer, being someone that has a following because of the fact that you lost weight.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. I have my own thoughts, and I'm kind of curious what you think. Okay, so, I think, honestly, for the most part, it's a bad idea.
Sorry, wait. What's a bad idea?
Being a weight loss influencer.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I guess if you're choosing to, yeah. Like, I feel like there's a difference between, like, there's some people who like went into it day one and were like, yeah, I want to be an influencer, I want to influence people, and then I feel like there's people like me and you who just kind of like was like, hey, I want to throw up pictures of my stuff, and then all of a sudden, you know, one thing happens or one thing here happens, and all of a sudden we have all this like responsibility, and then I feel like there's almost an obligation to influence. You know what I mean? But yeah, I totally see what you mean. Like, if for the people who are like at a starting point and are like deciding like I want to do this because I want to be a weight loss influencer, yeah, I would say it's not the best idea unless you have the utmost of positive and right intentions in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
someone said in the chat that am I Morgan's husband? Yes, Morgan losing, now known as Morgan Mabley, is my wife because that's my name, Mabley, Holding Mabley.
So I'm kind of like, so the reason that I say that and the reason that I talk about this is because I see so many people. I think the reason where the problem lies is that so many people they'll see someone that like relates to them, and of course you want to follow them and all that stuff, right? Like, I get that. But where the problem is that I think people put too much like stock and like, just because someone has lost weight doesn't necessarily mean that they know what they're doing or they know what they're talking about, right? Now,
absolutely.
And I understand that's me saying that as someone that is in the same exact spot, you know? Yeah. I think that I have some good information, but again, like, just because I say it, just because I've lost weight and I say it, doesn't make it more true than someone that hasn't lost weight and says it, right? And so,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, there comes to be like a relation factor too, though, right? You know, the one of the things is like you go to a personal trainer who's been like jacked his entire life, and he tells you what me and you could say. Like, me and you could just be like, hey, track calories, work out, you'll have good progress, most likely. Someone says that and they're super fit looking. To the average person, that might be something that they listen to and abide by, but to someone who's you know, where we were at, could be like, well, how would you ever know, because you haven't been in my shoes, right? Mm-hmm. So they see you in the shoes that they are currently walking, and then that kind of leads to that emotional, I feel, attachment, an emotional response to, like, you know, this person is or felt like how I do now, so I want to listen to them on a greater level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that like,
I gotta mute your chat, man. It's going off like crazy. How do I do that?
They can be wild, man. They can be wild.
It's just like, boop, 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 boop.
What are you getting? Like sound?
Mute category, 15 minutes. There we go. Yeah, it's like a little bloop bloop.
Oh, really? Yeah, I have. Is it on Discord?
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned off all the sounds and stuff like that because that stuff definitely.
But one thing I was gonna elaborate on when you were kind of talking there about it is, when it comes to influence, specifically giving information, I think the one thing that is not fully met up to, and obviously it's asking for kind of a lot, but at the same time I think it's important, is the differentiating factor between I'm saying this because it's something that is factual, or I'm saying this because it's something that personally worked for me and I believe in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's like a lot of people who kind of do that on the odd post or the odd kind of like speaking about things. Like someone will ask a question, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, this is the best way to do that," and like you have to realize that every time you answer a question in that sort of way, you're basically putting out that like this is it, like this is the and then you may say it at some points like, oh, just remember, like whenever I say stuff like this is just what worked for me. Well, some people are going to come in right in the middle of that, right? And they're going to see what you said. They're not going to know that you said before, like, hey, this is what worked for me, not necessarily the best thing ever. So I think there comes definitely some damage that can come from that, as far as just like I said, the differentiation between someone who's like obviously super knowledgeable, has the credentials, like maybe like a registered dietitian or someone who has that backing, versus someone who's kind of like done the research, versus someone who's just kind of giving their opinion. The people who are just giving their opinion and sharing the stuff that worked for them, I think there really has to be like, you have a big responsibility to let people know that pretty much as often as you possibly can, because if you don't do that, then like I said, you're impacting a big set of people who aren't going to be paying attention to the times where you said, well, oh, look back here, I said this. Well, yeah, but people are here now, so
So I think a lot of people, I'm looking at the chat and it's like, I guess what I said completely didn't register with what I was trying. People are completely misinterpreting what I was trying to say, right? So let me reiterate what I was saying. So I don't have a problem with someone that is a weight loss. What I'm talking about is less about the people they are influencing, right? It's not about that. I care about those people, but what I'm talking about is the actual influencer. I think it's a bad idea. I think that it can be a bad idea because it is so much pressure. And me and you both have think about how many people we know that became weight loss influencers or whatever, not on purpose, it just happened, right? That have completely fallen off, or that have like, it's a pretty big number. And there's probably so many people that you can't even remember them, right? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actual influencer, the person that is the person. I really think that for a lot of people, it becomes a really bad thing. Like, it really becomes like this.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm talking about.
You're saying for the influencers themselves.
The influencer themselves, it becomes this, because you get this.
Absolutely.
You have all of this positivity and all of this like, oh, all these people care about me so much and they're so excited for me. But I mean, you've seen firsthand when that's what I want to hear. That's why I was like excited to talk to you, because you've seen the other side of that when, say, you do start gaining some weight. And like, could you tell us like the story of when you first, like, I remember when you cut for that show, and then you like, remember where you were there because of all of these people that followed you. Like, that's what I think is really interesting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's you get kind of this high from like so many people showing support, but the reality is and the thing is too, is I want to make it known that like I feel like a lot of is different since me and you like started doing this versus now. I've noticed a big shift in the culture and the way people speak, the way people interact. People think that everyone's just like pieces of garbage online, and of course there's definitely that odd person, but I think the level of severity that it is 3 years ago than it is now, it's changed, thank God. But yeah, like when the first time I even gained 10-20 pounds, like the first time I lost, the lowest I got to was around 192 or something like that, and I gained back to like 205, 210, and just that small amount of weight, the amount of impact I felt it had on me because of the things that other people were saying based on the photos that they were seeing or whatever they were seeing, was so much greater in a negative way than it should have been. Looking back, especially even after my show where I got down to like 158 and I gained back to like 175, I was 175 pounds, but the fact that people saw me gaining weight, 175 is a completely healthy weight. That's my goal weight now. Like, I want to be that now, right? Currently I'm around 225, and I want to get back to that 175 part. But I remember being back then and feeling like I was like, excuse my French, but just like a fat, like I felt so bad about myself. I literally thought I was just like a piece of crap. I was like,
Mhm.
like people just think, this is what they're saying about me. Like, and I manifested that and created that in my situation because like that was the response I got. Now, would that have happened if I didn't have these hundreds of people being like, "Hey, you gained weight. Like you look like crap. You used to look better." Would that have had the same impact? Obviously not, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
and I think
I think
go ahead.
and then I think that the common response to something like that is like, well, you're putting yourself online, so you're going to be receptive to both positive and negative,
Mhm.
for sure. Like, and I agree with that. You're right. Like, you are putting yourself into a certain situation, but I think that while that may be true, it isn't an excuse for people to just kind of like, go in on what they want to go whenever they feel like it.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that it's an interesting thing, man, and it's like the reason I like to talk about it is because I think that a lot of people don't talk about it, and I see people in chat being like, "This isn't helpful to me. This isn't helpful to me." It's like, yo, we're just having a conversation. Like, if if you hate it, like you can leave. I'm not gonna make you stay here. But it's like,
Yeah. We'll get into some Q&As for sure.
but like, yo, like we're just talking, man. Like, jeez, people are wild. We're just trying to have a conversation, bro. Dang. But I think that this is important because I think that there are a lot of people that will see people like us or people that have big followings, and they just see like, wow, these are people that obviously know everything, and they're like, they know and they're better than everyone because they have all these followers. But it's like, yo, I'm just a normal. That's why I've tried to make it as clear as possible. Like, I am just a normal person. Like, there is nothing special about me at all. And so the fact that I have all these followers is cool and stuff, but it doesn't mean that I'm like better than someone, or it doesn't mean that I have like some special power or something like that. Also, your webcam is
having my
freaking
camera.
out, bro.
One sec.
It's been a green screen the whole time.
I tried to I tried to adjust something, and
Now you broke it.
yeah, apparently. What happened? I'm coming back, I promise.
Unbelievable. How embarrassing.
Okay.
We're in the Matrix.
We back, baby.
Dude, your camera now looks way better than mine does. It looked really bad at the start. Yeah, it looks way better now.
Oh, I don't know. But yeah, no, sorry, I got distracted by that. I don't know what happened. But yeah, no, like, yeah, it just comes with a lot of like obligation to just, you feel like you have to live up to everyone else's expectations, and that's something that, especially as and this is really important to me. I like notice a huge amount of mistakes in myself, back then, simply because of my age. Like,
so yeah, let's hear the mistakes that you made, because I think that they can be relatable to the people that are watching. Like, they can actually like probably relate to what went wrong or whatever in your journey.
Yeah. So when we started like Instagram, like I started tracking my progress at 19. So between about 19 and 21, I would say was my most like biggest influx of followers on my social media, right? At that time, I think you were what, like 23 to 25 or
I was like 20,
what are you
22,
now?
23. I'm 27.
So you're 2 years older than me? Yeah. So that might seem like a small number, but I feel like the difference of mindset I especially have towards what I do and how and social media and all that kind of stuff between when I was like 19 to 21 to 22, even from like 23 now to 25, is so different, simply based on a level of maturity, understanding, becoming a more humble person, and realizing the stuff I did back then did not help my case whatsoever. And what that was I felt like, by the response I was getting from people, so I was gaining weight, and people were responding like, "Hey man, like, what are you doing?" And was in a little bit of denial myself at the time, and so I was defensive. And this isn't something that's simply just because of weight loss itself. This is something that I've, as a person, in many aspects of life, have dealt with for a long time, is being defensive and going on the defensive. And this is based on stuff that, you know, happened in my early childhood, whatever. You know, stuff that I'm realizing that now I have to work on, and I've been, you know, avidly doing that. But what that created basically was like this arrogance in me to say like, oh, you guys don't know what you're talking about because I'm like the influencer. You know what I mean?
Dude,
And
I remember that time.
Looking back, I'm like, oh my God, man. Like some of this, like the ways I would react, like I remember watching an old video and I was like, why? Like, why did I make this video? Like, why did I say this thing, or why did I reply to people like that? And, you know, and I'll have people come up now like, well, why don't you take us, you know, this is what I said 2 years ago. Like, why don't you just accept it then? And I'm like, I guess I like personally just, I wasn't ready to at that time. I wasn't at a level in my life where I was like prepared to deal with those things. And I feel like that's a completely logical thing. Like, you know, a lot of us, when this happened, and even with other people, like a lot of people are kids that like are all of a sudden given this huge responsibility and obligation. And especially when it comes to weight loss, which is attached to your like visual and like physical well-being, you all of a sudden have this completely new influence and opinion on that in response to that. And I think that when you're not maturely ready or have had the ability to work through that and prepare and be like, oh, how do I deal with this in a humble yet accepting and confident way? If you haven't learned that, then it's going to be very difficult. And then that just creates kind of like a domino effect of like, okay, well, this guy's just like an asshole. Like, I'm not going to,
dude,
you know?
I remember like it was, because you were like the first person that I ever really like promoted, I guess, you know, on my channel. You came and stayed with me and stuff, and I just remember, and like, I mean, we were like
cool friends.
Yeah, you've obviously changed and stuff like this. So, you know, hopefully you don't take this offensively. But I remember at that time, like after you had lost the weight and you were like relatively lean, you know, it's not like you hadn't competed yet or anything, but you started like getting super douchey and like being like being very, I know everything and everyone should listen to me, and I am right in all things, right? And I just remember being like, I don't like that, but I didn't know how to come up to you and say, hey dude, like, I don't think that this is the way to do things, you know? But it was hard, and then our relationship got really strained at that time. Like I remember being like, I don't know if I can really be around Danny, just because I don't know if I really like stand behind what he's saying, or especially like how he's saying things. And it was hard, man. Like it was hard, but I mean, the fact that you've changed so much is such a huge, like, it just goes to show you how much, like, you can think someone, not like you were the most douchey person in the world, because there's certainly people that were much worse than you, but like, no, even if you might see someone that is like, wow, they're like, they've lost it, like, there's no use in helping them. Now it's like, you're a completely different person, man. And it's like the things that you said before are literally like 180, you know, degree turn from what you say now. And so I'm just, and like someone in the comments said people grow up, and I think that that's a big thing with both of us, honestly, is like, you know, I've been doing this for like 6 or 7 years. You've been doing it for 5 or 6 years. And so it's like, just the amount of growth you have naturally as a person in that time is going to be pretty big, you know? And so I just think that, I don't know, man, I'm really, really happy for you. And I know that I know there's still a lot of stuff that you're learning. So I kind of like, I would love to hear like kind of what the most recent stuff that's been going on and how that's kind of changed your view and stuff like that as like lately.
Do you mean in like general or in
general,
weight loss,
dude?
or?
Whatever you want, man.
I mean, I guess one of the biggest things, obviously, is, and it's super cliche, but like, you know, becoming a dad like has made me realize the important and non-important stuff in like my life, right? And the fact that like I have a certain amount of time now that I have to, you know, make sure like things are taken care of, and not just for myself. Like, you know what I mean? Before, I was living life for me. You know what I mean? And I think you'll, you know, eventually get to this point because this was like a step that you take kind of marriage and having kids if that's what you want later on in life. I don't know fully, I think, but anyways, eventually happens where you're like, it's a very huge shift going from focusing on me and making sure I'm okay and to making sure my family and everyone's okay, right? And so to do that, I've had, like, absolutely had, or this would not work, had to grow as a person. These are things that I obviously already wanted to improve. I was already aware of. I already wanted to work on them. I wanted to become a better person. But I'm not saying that having a family or all of a sudden having a kid fixes anything. It's not true at all.
Yeah.
But it does make you reflect in a deeper and greater way that will, I mean, if you're responding to it in a positive way, will produce more results because you realize there's so much more at stake and there's so much more important, right? So for me, this happened not only in the way I speak, but also in the way I look at health and weight loss. My goal 5 years ago was to look as great as I could on IG so I could get clients. Like that. That's what my brain thought, right? Whereas now, I care way more about mentally how I feel and how that I'm setting myself up for the future, and not just for me but also for my family and for the influence I do have on them, to push that further into a place where I'm the best person I could be. The best person I could be to some other people may be what I look like, but to me it's a combination of health and how I feel and how I can do my day-to-day tasks and where my mentality is at. So I've taken my weight loss kind of like approach differently because I'm not worried about helping someone bench 225. I'm not worried about helping someone get cap delts. Like, if that happens, if that's your goal, great, I'll help you do that for sure. But at the end of the day, like, how do we set up now so that the future is bright? Because my way that I did back when didn't set up my future. It set up the present, right? Yeah. And so that's why I had my issues, and I'm still working through them, obviously making better and better steps each year, but of gaining weight back because I wasn't going into those deeper things. I wasn't, letting myself understand that. I was just kind of doing it for a visual representation.
So tell me a little bit about the changes that have happened in your diet, and how you've gotten to because it seems like you're at a pretty good place with your diet and with nutrition. So can you take us down the road? Take us down the road of your nutrition from before you started losing weight to where you are now.
Okay. So when I first started, all I did was make simple changes, right? Like I was eat more protein, eat more veggies, less carbs.
What were you doing to get to your biggest size? Because you were 320 or something like that, right?
Yeah. So I always use this example because it's probably one of the craziest. And to me, I remember that and you'll probably relate to this. You remember a time where you ate what to any normal person would be considered a enormous amount of food, and you were like, "What do you mean?"
Yeah, and they say, dude. I mean, I've said this before, but for me, a standard McDonald's run was 2 McDoubles, 2 McChickens, a large fry, and a large Coke. And then sometimes maybe chicken nuggets if I wanted them.
That's literally food for 2 people.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe even 3 if they're small people.
So one of the things I always bring up is that, I've always enjoyed food, and that's one of the biggest struggles I have even now. It's not even a psychological or a nutrition thing. It's I honestly love food. I hope to open a restaurant one day. That's my goal. Dude, at the end of all this.
I'm not trying to keep interrupting you, but that is one thing that we are very different. You love food, yeah. You're a foodie. Dude, even when I was bigger, I was never a foodie. I could go to McDonald's and get that same order every day. And I still, everyone knows, I eat stir fry every night. That's just how I've always been. I eat similar things. I've been like that my entire life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for me, like I said, I like food enough that I do personally want to pursue culinary and open a restaurant one day. Mm-hmm. But besides that, so back when I was delivering pizza, when I was younger,
most places didn't get their pizzas.
One of the nights, they would put pizza on top of the oven, and if it didn't go out or the person didn't come pick it up, at the end of the night, if it was still there with no receipt, they pull the receipt off. Anyone could take it. And so there was 2 large pizzas, and I was like, "Hey, does anyone want these?" And they were like, "No." And I was like, "All right, dope. I'm going home. I'll take them." I took them was expecting to share with everyone, but everyone was like, it was late. It was like 8:39 at night. No one was hungry, so I was like, all right, well, I'll just like put them here. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna play COD for like hours tonight. I'm gonna go to 7-Eleven, pick up some Doritos, pick up some like, Diet Pop. At that time, I did actually drink like diet soda.
Really?
Because I just thought like, oh, well, it's better than not, like, you know what I mean. So I got that, and then I came back, started playing video games, and I remember I ate both. Like, I went and got to the fridge, brought them downstairs, ate both of the large pizzas and a whole bag of chips and like half a 2-liter of soda within that like 5 hours I was playing like Call of Duty at the time. And not to say that like games are bad, but I just was happening to do that. And I feel like at that time the culture was like Mountain Dew and Doritos, like
Yeah.
so I did that not thinking anything of it, and then like my foster family at the time woke up and was like, where's the pizza? I was like, oh, I ate them last night. And they were like, you ate 2 large pizzas? Like, and I was like, yeah.
Jeez.
Like, what do you mean? And yeah, and I still remember too that like at no point my body was like, hey, whoa, you know what I mean? I just did it. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't, think anything of it.
Well,
But
you were young too, man. Like, you lost your weight at 19,
I
right?
was like 16, yeah. Yeah, I was like 15, 16.
So I think like that's a pretty normal thing, and I think that's something that a lot of people kind of forget is that people like a lot of people like, oh, I've been overweight my whole life and I feel fine. Like, that's a whole thing right now. But it's like, yeah, but you're 25. Like,
And you're like used to that.
yeah.
People don't realize, like, even for me, like, I didn't realize how I felt and like and what like the difference of that between like being healthy and not was until I actually ate healthy food for an entire month.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did like a whole 30 thing, not for weight loss, but for just personally for myself to see, things and to figure some things out. The how I felt during that 30 days of eating no processed foods compared to how I regularly feel on a daily basis to going back to just eating like whatever was night and day. Like, but I never would have known that unless I changed it, right? Because my everyday was the normal, and your normal doesn't necessarily mean is the optimal like health for you. If you're having headaches or you're having indigestion or you're having little things happen here and there, to you it's just, oh, I have these all the time, I don't get it, and you've had it for years. Well, maybe there's one thing that you're intaking on a regular basis that's directly the cause of those headaches, of that stomach issue, of skin issues. Like, there's lots of things that food can cause.
Yeah. So let's keep going down the story. So
yeah.
As you got up to your highest weight, so what happened there? Like, what'd you do?
So started a new job, and the guy I worked with was pretty jacked, and I was like, hey, help me out, man. And just started as like a simple thing, and I literally, all I did was just like, I would run my choices by him. I would be like, hey, like, what do you think of this for lunch? And he was like, yeah, that's good. And then when I went home, I would just eat like veggies and protein, because I just thought that's what you had to do. And then I started doing decent with that, but then I was like, oh, like, I feel like I'm missing out on some foods I like. And so then I found out about If It Fits Your Macros. And so I started tracking.
How did you find out about If It Fits Your Macros?
I mean, it was like trendy at that time. Like a guy at my gym was like doing it, and he was like, yeah, I eat whatever I want and I lose weight. And I was like, what? So yeah, it was a very trendy thing at that time, and so that's what I started doing. But I didn't get the macro part, so I just did calories, and so I just tracked calories every day, and that was about it. And I mean, then obviously years went by. I lost my majority amount of weight doing that, but then I switched to macros when I got like to a level of like leanness where I was like, okay, I want to like achieve some like muscle results now, because I was like, I got to pay attention to protein and whatnot. And so that's where I was for a majority, is kind of just tracking macros and following like an 80-20 rule, which was absolutely a lie to myself that I told on a regular basis.
So explain that.
Well, just like a lot of people will be like, I do If It Fits Your Macros, but I follow an 80-20 rule or whatever. And so that means basically you're eating 80% whole foods and 20% like whatever you want. The reality is, I would say a majority of the time it's more like 50-50 or even 40-60.
Yeah.
Because not to get into like anything about like good or bad foods or whatever, but we can just know like unprocessed and more processed foods. I think people's understanding of what that is kind of weird because like the whole kind of basis is weird. But I mean, it just comes down to like, if you eat more whole foods, you kind of like understand what that truly means. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you can talk about the specifics and science and whatnot, but it's like, food that you can make at home with certain ingredients that are easy, that aren't like super high in different stuff and are basic, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, like chips and Doritos and stuff like that. Yeah.
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 And so
Very natural.
I just thought I was doing that, but
Pop Tarts.
but
Yeah.
for the majority, I was eating like whatever I wanted, and that included, I would say, yeah, like I said, like 40 to 60 as far as processed foods to whole foods.
But you did that and you lost weight, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Lost a lot of weight.
So you lost a lot of weight, but then you started gaining weight, and then you lost weight again, right? Like, take us down the whole journey there, and like what was happening, and why do you think that those things were like? Why were you struggling? I'm just interested, and I think people would love to hear like your mindset while you were going through those ups and downs.
Yeah. So when I first got to 180, I remember like one of the big things for me has been like events or like occasions, like when, you have that thing where you're going for a weekend away to like a cabin and there's going to be food that's like out of your control, or maybe you can't track properly. When I first started to experience that, I wasn't knowledgeable enough to like understand what I needed to do. And so I would just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to eat and enjoy myself. But what my level of being able to enjoy myself and eat is much higher than, it's like I may have lost 140 pounds, but I can still eat like I still had that 140 pounds. You know what I mean? And one of the things with that is, if you don't, and this is something at that time I didn't do, which I very focus on now, is if you don't start to pay attention to your hunger levels and what those are, how those feel, what they are to you, how foods make you feel, whatnot, you don't really have a good understanding of what that even feels like. So back then I didn't. So at that time I just ate, and then all of a sudden like weeks went by where I was just enjoying myself eating food, not really realizing, and then all of a sudden like I was up 10 pounds. It was like, whoa, like, oh, like I didn't, you don't really pay attention to how, like, one of the biggest things is as people like research based, we are like very bad at like actually estimating how much we eat.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a thing. Like, especially when you're not like tracking it. Even with tracking it, it varies, but like when you're not paying attention, you'll be like, oh, I didn't eat that much, and you probably ate a good amount. Like, you know what I mean? So at that time, that's when I was gaining weight. And then I wasn't doing too bad as far as, I was fluctuating between like 170, 190. And to me, like at that time, now looking back, like I said, I think that was totally fine. Like, I think both of those weights, anywhere between there, obviously it's a huge way to fluctuate every so often, but that weight would be not an issue for me now, obviously. But when I did my competition, where I dieted extremely to 158 pounds, and I mean, that's a whole story in itself, as far as I binged like 3 weeks out because of like the restrictiveness of the diet, and then I felt, because of my influence, that I had to do it. And so I was like, to my coach at that time, I was like, I need to do the show, and it's in 3 weeks. Like, I can't look like crap. Like, I got to do this. And the only option, which looking back, I should have just been like, hey, this isn't worth it. I'm going to stop, say, hey, whatever.
But you don't want to deal with the people saying, I told you so. You don't want to deal with all the people being like, oh, you can't do it, right? Like, that's a hard pill to swallow. And I don't think I would be able to do it either. So I can't blame you for being like, I have to do this thing.
Yeah, so I was eating around 800 to 1,000 calories for 3 weeks and doing 3 hours of cardio a day on top of training 6 days a week. And that got me to where I needed to be for stage. But then after that, I lost any sort of positive relationship I had with food, and I had with my control, and I had with my mentality, just went right out the window. And you saw this in Arizona, I think firsthand, which was about a month or two after.
Dude, this was, I legit was like, I don't want to be like, I was terrified because that's over the top, but I was concerned. Like, I was concerned. Because I had never seen someone so focused on food. And I would say that you would probably agree. Like it was it
Oh
felt
yeah,
like it felt like
absolutely.
it was the only thing you talked about.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, at that time, like I was just in a place where like, yeah, that's like it, I honestly can't like really explain why or how or whatever, but at that time I just, because of um how I was, I just, because of the dieting and restrictiveness of that, I just like it was like months of dieting I needed to like catch up for by months of eating whatever I wanted. You know what I mean? Um, so, and there was some huge mental stuff that came with that too, because not only was I then had total lost control of like what I was able to eat and the choices I was able to make, but now I also had this backlash from people noticing every few weeks me getting puffier and puffier and puffier, because one of the things is there's a big difference between like your regular weight and like the weight you look like when you've been eating a lot. Like, you know what I mean? You can, like, if you're maintaining a weight, your body kind of settles into that, gets kind of like tighter, and then, but when you're like eating a lot of food consistently and putting on weight, you like literally look like bloated and puffy and like swollen almost. And so at that time, I felt like I was like every few weeks I would diet for a few days, look tight, and then all of a sudden I would gain like 10 pounds, look super puffy, and people were like, "Whoa, what is going on right now?" And that's when I received the most negative backlash I've ever on social media. Like it was constant, daily, not just DMs, but comments and stuff of just like. At first, it was just like the physical stuff, like, "Hey, you look like you're getting weight," blah blah blah. But then, as I got defensive, like we talked about before, it began to be something more of like a, "Oh, this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about at all." And then I got more like defensive to even that as well, because like something that I had like identified myself with was kind of being like stripped away from me, right? Like you said, like I used to be the guy who said like, "Oh, I know it, like I know a lot, so listen to me." And so when some people were like, "No, we're not going to listen to you," I was like, "No." um, yeah, yeah.
Well, and then so you did the show, and then you started to gain weight. Okay. How like what size did you get up to? Like I don't know, you don't have to put numbers on it, but like when did you get to a point where you're like, okay, I need to? Because I know basically knowing you and most people that lose a lot of weight and then gain it back, it's like every few days you're like, this is the time that I'm gonna lose the weight. This is the time that I'm gonna lose the weight.
Yeah.
This is the time. So,
Yeah.
is there any time in your head that you can remember that you said that and it actually that was the time that you were like, okay, I'm gonna? Because I know that what I'm trying to get to is your approach to dieting or losing weight is completely different now than it was when you were doing the show, right? And so what I'm trying to get at is what was the genesis of that change for you?
So after the show, I put on weight and I went through 2 stints of like doing well, of losing around 20 to 30 pounds. And the first one I did well and then like slipped up and fell back into old habits. And then the second one, was, what was it? Like end of last year. And the second one is where I was definitely more on top of things and like learning new stuff and whatnot. And then this is the third time I've dropped around that similar like 20, 30 pounds. But doing it in a way this time totally different than before. Like before, I was trying like different things because when you're not successful, you start to question even what your own self does, right? Like I started to question like, oh, is macros actually the thing that works for me? Maybe I should try keto, or maybe I fell into that phase of like people when they're so fed up they just like try whatever is supposed to work, which went against like everything I like thought of like beforehand. So eventually I got to a point where I was like, I just feel like I'm constantly still like in this negative cycle of things, and I'm not confident in my choices. I'm not confident in who I am. I'm not confident in what I want to like talk about. And this time around, within the past, like I would say this year, like end of the holidays this year, January, my peak was like last year when I got married, and I lost 20 pounds, gained it, and then at the holidays of last year I was around like 250, and I lost like 20, 30 pounds, basically intuitively eating in a healthy way, not tracking at all, listening to my hunger levels and
So
paying attention to those,
what did
and
that look
implementing
like?
certain strategies that I've
What did that like look like for you? You know.
so I would so I would basically like I would eat I would stick to as much whole foods as possible. I wouldn't eat out as much, like nearly. And I don't actually like think that now, but at the time, to build that discipline, to build that self-control, at that time I did. I was a little bit more strict than I am now. Um, but basically just implemented whole food approaches, and I tried to balance out each meal, have a good portion of fat, have a good portion of carb, had a good portion of protein with each meal, listen to how that actually felt. Like, am I full from that? Am I hungry? Am I more hungry in an hour? Like, how full for how long am I from this meal? And then would apply that to like lunch and dinner, and then would eat to fullness while including activity and everything, and just change kind of like slight adjustments based on results, right? Um, you know, it took like I said, like going through the story, it took many years to get to a point where I am now. But for me, it's been such a more positive thing. I'm more confident than ever. I'm more like mentally focused and positive than ever. I feel, although physically I'm not where I want to be right now, it's not because I want to look better. It's because I want to be more athletic for the sport I love, which is basketball. And overall, though, I feel healthy. I feel good. And I care much less about specifically what I look like. Not to say that like if I was unhealthy or like got to a place where I was like, whoa, I've let myself, go past again, that I wouldn't be in this place to be like, hey, no, like we need to, make some good decisions here. But yeah, it's definitely a mental switch that's happened, a big one.
Do you think that now this is just me asking a question, so I'm not trying to put any words in your mouth, but I'm just kind of curious. Like, I know what people would be thinking hearing what you just said, okay? And so, do you feel that with what you kind of explained, like if someone said, "Oh, it just sounds like you're in denial, and you're just being lazy, or you could lose more weight if you really tried," like when you hear that, like what's your thought process to that?
I think that falls into the mindset that got me where I was a year ago in the first place, right? The idea that there's no middle ground between success and not success, to me, is crazy. Like, you work towards something, no one expects you to have perfection, and for some, it's not going to be something that happens overnight, right? So having that mindset of where like, oh, well, you're just not blah, 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 like that led me to believe that like I wasn't ever doing good enough, and I wasn't living up to what I was supposed to do, or I wasn't following the right things. Whereas now I understand that, of course, like so the difference is like if I really wanted to lose a huge amount of weight fast, I know how to, like, and I could put myself through that and do that, but I don't want to because I want it to be sustainable. And what's sustainable to me now versus before is something that I feel good about, I feel confident in, I feel positive about, that I can implement on a daily basis, that I can implement in different situations. And if you are focused on something like, oh, well, if you're not just trying hard enough, okay, so when things happen in life that you have little control over, like I'm not going to be the type of person to bring Tupperware to a family event. Not going to happen. Like, it's not my goals. It doesn't align with my goals. I don't think it should align with most people's goals. Simply because you are putting that where like you're never going to be able to get to a point where you can go to that event and have a positive experience while making progress, rather than doing something that gets you progress but doesn't teach you anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for the thing about in denial is, I know I'm going to get to my goal weight at the end of the day. I'm going to do it in the time I want to. I'm going to do it in the way that I think is going to be sustainable for me. And no, that doesn't look the same for everyone. Like, I'm not saying that this is, like I said, like we talked about at the start, it's not the thing that is the end all be all that's going to be the perfect thing for everyone to achieve the results they want. Some people have different mindsets, some people have different situations, but for me and for a lot of people that I've worked with on a regular basis, and I'm coaching like right now more than ever, and seeing the best results I ever have in clients, like not just in a weight loss part, but also just like a mental positive like progress part, which I think is at the end of the day what's going to lead to the most sustainable progress possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and knowing you, I believe that everything that you're saying is what you believe. You know, I'm just like, you know, I know that people are gonna have those thoughts, right? Now, I'm kind of curious.
I mean, they're totally allowed to.
Mm-hmm. I'm kind of curious. So, like something that I struggle with, is like, so obviously I've been pretty, like critical of the health at every size movement, right? And I still believe that for the most part, and I've said this many times in videos, for the most part, you can't look at someone and determine if they are healthy or not, right? For the most part, you know, for most of society. But mm-hmm. when you say health at every size, you have people that are, you know, on one side that are really, really, really big, and then even people on the other side that are really, really thin. And so I struggle with, because a lot of the stuff that you just said is a lot of stuff they'll say as well, right? And I really struggle with someone that is, you know, 400 pounds saying that you can't look at my body and determine whether or not I'm healthy. And I'm like, okay, I can't look at you and be like, okay, you have XYZ. Those are the things that you are struggling with. But like, I know from my own personal experience, when I was 360 pounds, I wasn't even, like, I was probably close to 400 pounds. Like, the pain that I had in my feet, the pain that I had in my knees, like, at 20 years old, right? And so knowing that, imagine if that was stretched out to my 30s. It's just like, this isn't realistic. Yeah. And there's so many people that are in there, like I said earlier, that are in their early 20s, maybe late teens, that have all these things that they're saying. And it's like, okay, but think about where you're going to be in 10 years. You know, think about where you're going to be in 15 years. Like, are you going to feel the same way about this? You know? And I just struggle because you know, for the most part, if someone wants to not be harassed because of their size, I'm not saying that they need to be harassed. But it's like, we shouldn't be saying that this is a healthy alternative and that this is just as good as, you know, maybe taking control of your health and, like, at least trying not to let it get out of hand to where, you know, you're getting diabetes or you're getting, like, all of these other things that you're dealing with. I don't know. Like, I just struggle with, because, again, I agree with everything you said, but I don't know. I just worry that people can misconstrue it. You know, I don't know. What are your thoughts with health at every size? I don't think we've never even really talked about it very much.
We have a similar kind of understanding. Like, you know, I think that there's you know, I've seen comparisons where, like, people post, like, someone who's like an Olympic athlete who is 300 something pounds because of what she does as like a weightlifter, or he does, or whatever, for their sport or whatever. Now, to me, that's like an unfair comparison, because you're comparing someone who trains at a high level at that weight versus someone who maybe is at that weight and doesn't train at all, right? I think that weight itself is not a super defining factor on specific health, but I'm also not oblivious to the fact that if you take body mass index, which is, yes, used in a broad sense, not the best, but when it's used in the average, what it's supposed to be used for, is actually a pretty good indicator as far as our BMI goes up, our health risks increase. Now, there is differentiating factors in that. Like I said, if you are an active training every day, staying busy person, you're going to have less of those impacts than someone who's that weight and just sitting on their couch all day, right? So I think that I get the understanding of health at every size, like, but I think there also is a realistic approach as far as there's some people that just are saying that but aren't. And I think that one of the biggest tells is time, right? Like, no, I'm not saying, you know, you have to change, because of, like, at the end of the day, people can do what they want to do. But, you know, for me to say this right now, if in 3 years I'm the exact same, or even heavier, for example, and I'm trying to tell you the exact same thing, then you would have a basis to be like, well, I mean, man, you've been, I get what you're saying, but you've been saying it for 3 years. So like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm not implementing if I'm saying I want to achieve a higher level of health and, and continue to lose weight and blah, 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 but I don't do that, but I'm still trying to like tell the same things. I think that's kind of like, that's when that denial can be present for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are saying the same thing, but the result hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when that denial, I think, can become a real thing. But for me, it's like, I know that the more that I've felt and maintained and done better, the more positive I felt about my everyday actions, and the more I felt about like I eat better now than I ever have. Like, do I still have slip ups? Yes, because like that's gonna be part of people's journeys. Like I talked about today on my Instagram. Like, your progress is not defined by either success or non-success,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you regularly go out with friends and you regularly gain 5 pounds every time you do, and you feel bummed about it, okay, like that might motivate you to go forward, and push forward and just be like, okay, I got to get back on track. But say, a month goes by and you're going out with friends still, but now all of a sudden you only gain 2 pounds every time you go out with friends,
Mm-hmm.
because naturally you're making better choices and you're having a bit of better awareness of what's going on around you, and you're making choices accordingly. To me, that's success. Whereas as the normal fitness industry response is, well, you're still gaining weight, so like, there's still better to do. Well, of course there's better to do.
Mm-hmm.
But is it going to be better to point out someone's still failing, or is it going to be better to point out someone that, hey, look at this improvement you've made?
Mm-hmm.
And that's an approach I take with clients, and have seen, like I said, the biggest changes I've seen in people, because they're not like overthinking and overstressing about every step and every thing. They're applying, they're learning, they're seeing these things. And that's something I do in my everyday as well, is like, I'm realizing that progress looks like better over time,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily perfection over time.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're making better choices and getting the results from that, whether or not they be the technical results or not, what's going to be more important than making sure whatever happens.
For sure, bro. All right. Well, we've been talking for a while, so I want to do some questions. So if anyone has questions, let us know. Again, if you want to make sure your question is answered, leave a super chat. Obviously, I would super appreciate it. But we'll answer some questions. Also, I do want to say there's someone in the chat, Sarah Bird, has been talking a lot about health at every size. So, Sarah, if you are in the Discord, I would love to have a conversation with you. I think it'd be fun to kind of do a little bit of it, like an interview type thing, because obviously you seem to know a lot more about health at every size than I do. So I would love to have you like come and like have a conversation, because I saw that you said like I'm always talking about the crazies, but the fact is like no one ever wants to talk to me about this stuff, so I don't have any other option. And so if you could come to the Discord and we could have a conversation, that would be great, because then I think that would be helpful for everyone involved. But yeah, so if anyone has any questions or anything like that, let us know and we can answer some questions. Yeah.
We got to do another one of these and talk about the whole anti-diet stuff, because I think there's a lot of stuff there where me and you could have some long conversations about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think that I have a pretty neutral stance. It's like I'm just trying, like I'm thinking about the people that are like where I was, and I want them to be, I just want people to be happy and to be healthy. That's it,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so.
Right on. So somebody asked, any advice on how to gain self-control on binge eating? When it comes to binge eating, the first thing I say is always see a professional. One of the biggest steps and first steps I took after realizing that things were just not working on me, trying to work on them myself. Like if you've been working at it yourself and nothing's really improving, sometimes it's going to take, seeing a professional to help and support with that, is the first thing. And the second thing I would say is to dive into the root causes of why you're binging, and then to kind of go from there. It's too much of a broad spectrum to kind of go into now. But one of the things I focus on is like, okay, have you seek professional help? What are they saying? Okay, how is that helping you? Okay, how can you dive deeper into the things that are causing your binges, and then kind of go from there. And it's different routes for different people, but that's kind of the general two things, is like figure out what's causing it, seek professional help, go from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. With binge eating and stuff, it's always just hard to give like an answer, because a lot of it, I think, depends on like the reason you are binging and like the things that have led up to that point, and those will determine what maybe you should do after the fact, right? And so, but like I think for a lot of people, it usually ends up being a struggle with over restriction, and so being okay with maybe not being so overly restrictive every day usually seems to be kind of a helpful thing. But yeah. Someone, a super chat, appreciate it. Elias said, "Do you weigh yourself before or after you poop?" After. 100%.
I saw one about intermittent fasting, and this is something, one of my opinions has changed. It might be one of the most controversial things I say today. But I still believe that there is a certain select few amount of people that intermittent fasting can help. What I've seen from a personal level as well as a case study level of like, I would say 9 out of my 10 clients that I work with where I talk about this with, it happens. And that is intermittent fasting is something that basically takes your natural response of hunger, which is your body saying that, hey, I want food, and you're saying no.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I now don't agree with, just based on what the shifts that I've made as far as like how important knowing your hunger levels are. And so with intermittent fasting, I found, I asked people, I'm like, okay, so do you intermittent fast? It's like, why, for one? And then if you intermittent fast, do you often eat or snack at night? Like a lot. And literally every single time they're like, oh yeah, definitely. Like I get really hungry in the evening and I snack a lot at night. And so my next question is, okay, would you be up to like eating breakfast, eating 3 balanced square meals a day? Because what the approach I take is to eat balanced, sustained, like satisfying meals throughout the day, each meal,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so what I found is, and I don't have this like, and I'm a very research-based person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me to talk about this is actually kind of crazy, because like this is just based on solely, like I said, the case studies of the clients I've worked with and myself. Is I will be like, okay, so it seems to me that when people intermittent fast, it's like their hunger levels understand that, hey, okay, eventually after a few days, like you feel hungry in the morning, and then all of a sudden people are like, oh, I'm just not hungry at breakfast anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because your body's become accustomed to that, right? And all of a sudden in the evening now, your body's like, hey, we didn't get food in the morning, and you've been eating kind of a good amount now. But especially with those people who like, save calories for the evening,
Mm-hmm.
that's when those hunger levels pick up to a level that they're hard to control. And what I mean by this is your body's like, okay, we didn't get food this morning. You haven't ate a lot midday now. Okay, the day's almost over. We need to eat,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that's where that overconsumption, that's where self-control is hardest to do, is when those hunger levels that are a high level. So I always try to focus on like keeping hunger levels at bay, and trying to keep them consistent throughout the day. Because if you let them get to a high level, it's going to be super hard to make good decisions and to not just like give in to that impulse of like wanting something.
Mm-hmm.
So what I found is like, I have yet to have a client that switched to eating breakfast and like eating those balanced meals throughout the day, and to still have that same level of hunger in the evening.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, and I'm waiting for the research to come out about it. I'm looking more into it myself on a regular basis, but I have a message from someone today saying the same thing, like, oh, I'm starting to notice my hunger's picking up in the morning at a sustainable normal level, and my actual hunger at night is kind of coming down a bit, because the body is balancing itself out and realizing, oh, hey, we're getting food consistently through the day. I don't need to all of a sudden go into like a mode of like, I need food now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, I
So
mean, I would
that's,
say it makes sense. Like if you, like just from like if you are eating more throughout the day, it would make sense that you would be less hungry at night. But like people don't think of that.
I think
Thanks,
I won't
DJ.
eat
I
until
appreciate
nighttime,
it.
so I can eat
Oh,
all
look
I
at
want.
Jordan's here. Jordan, we need to come. We need to have you come on. You could show your new butt to everybody.
Bruh, Bro, that's savage.
Dog, I was like scrolling through Instagram and I was like, "Oh, there's Jordan's butt on my face. That's okay."
If
That's
I
cool.
eat throughout the day, I notice I'm not hungry at night.
Okay,
There we go.
Axel said, "I've been doing keto for 3 years now. I'm near my family, and they like big meals full of carbs, like once a month. Is it going to hurt me to partake?" Do you want me to go, or do you want to go?
ahead.
I know that because you did that whole keto experience. So 3 years. Wow, that's a long time. I'm near my family, and they like big full meals of carbs, like once a week. I'm kind of curious to see what you say to this, because we might have different answers. I think so that's the problem with keto is that you have to be so, to stay in ketosis, which is a legit thing. If you start to jump off of it, you're no longer in ketosis. I would say if you yourself are, thanks Elias for joining. If you yourself are in a deficit still, and I don't know, I'm assuming your goals are to lose weight, I would think. If you stick in a deficit, you should be okay. But I will say your weight will probably spike up after that meal because you're having the carbs and your body is gonna hold on to water. But as far as it being a detrimental thing that is gonna ruin all your progress, I personally don't think it would be that big of a deal. But you will probably get bumped out of ketosis, and if that to you is a big deal, then it might be a big deal, right? So I don't really know exactly how big of a deal staying in ketosis is to you. What do you think? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, it depends, I guess, what your goals are at the end of the day. If it's simply weight loss, then coming out of ketosis once in a while is not going to be a big deal. But once again, the mindset I'm at now is I would just focus on, are you able to consistently do this keto thing for years and years to come, and able to enjoy these meals that your families have? And if you are, great, awesome, right on. There's no more conversation needs to be had. And if you're getting progress and you're feeling good about it, that's the biggest thing I focused on is if you feel good and confident in your choices and in who you are and how you feel and everything like that, then great. Then the only thing I would say, though, is if you're finding it very difficult every time that time comes around and it's something that causes a little bit of stress, a little bit of anxiety, that's when I need to say, okay, well, maybe you need to question a little bit what your dieting habits are, because if they're fitting 92% of your life, but the 8% is really stressful and really impacting you in a negative way, where's something you could adjust to maybe make it so that it's less of an impact and less of a deeper thing?
Yeah, I think that, with keto, it's hard because a lot of people, I've noticed, and I'm not saying this is the person that asked the question, so I'm just talking in generalities now. I think why keto can be dangerous is because I think a lot of people end up identifying with it as more than just how they eat. It becomes this almost like religion, not exactly a religion, but it becomes this
this coming from the CrossFit guy.
Yeah. No, that's fine. But even then, man, that can be dangerous too. If you think CrossFit is I hate people that are CrossFit's the best thing and the only thing that anyone can do to get fit. It's no, dude. Some people aren't gonna like CrossFit.
Yeah.
It's okay. But I don't know. I think that's, and then people, they feel this intense amount of guilt that are really strict keto people that in their heads they're keto people, right? They feel
you
this.
ate a carb?
Yeah, no, but seriously, obviously people have that in any sort of diet, right? That's a pretty normal feeling to have. But I feel it's intensified when it's keto, because in reality, if you do go get off the wagon pretty bad, you are getting out of ketosis now, right? And if that's a huge thing for you, that could be super bad, right? And so that's why I think that if you're gonna do keto for weight loss, just really think about what it is that you're doing before you just all right, let's do it, All right, dude. Yeah. Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, because you've already been here for over an hour. So just whenever you want to leave, just let me know.
Okay, I'm gonna hit the gym at 3, so I got maybe 15 minutes max if you want to do some more questions, and then it's Gaines time.
Yeah. This is my good arm. This is my small arm.
Oh wait, I want to.
You gotta lift the shirt. You gotta lift the shirt. There you go.
We're getting there. Yeah. No, I've been feeling good. I didn't train seriously for like probably like the last year. I like went, but like yeah. And so I've been really getting back at it right now. Feels
Yeah.
good.
So
Feels so good.
why did you just kind of like were you just like I don't want to work out anymore? Like I don't enjoy it. Was it just like you just didn't enjoy it at all?
Not at all. I wasn't enjoying it as much, and then the time it was taking up, I was finding that like it was starting to become like in my head, it was starting to become like a burden.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just because of mainly it was like time management wasn't on my side at the time, and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't doing it properly. So now I time manage that, and I pick like a realistic amount of training time for myself weekly, and I just attain to that, and something I've been like when I go to the gym now, it may only be 3-4 times a week, but like I'm getting in there and putting like every effort in every set versus like every rep versus just like going in there and then like leaving.
Have you ever like thought about changing up your training style? Because I feel like it's never really changed up that much.
I actually do. I mean, it is a kind of different. Like I do some, like I still do generally regular bodybuilding stuff, but I focus a lot more with. So I'm working like Jeff Nippard built my program, and it's basically focused on like quick, explosive, like high intensity workouts, and just kind of like following through that with accessory movements. So like the main movements, I do like heavy sets, do like an accessory or two movement, and then leave. Like, and it's for like for muscle as well as strength and athleticism. Because when I do want to get back down to my 185 weight, I want to like be really good athletically in basketball. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just wondering if you've ever thought of, because like for me, I get so bored. So like I'll do like last year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna run a marathon, and then before that, I was doing bodybuilding, and then I did CrossFit, and now I'm doing like triathlon training, and I'm just like, man, you don't get bored, bro. Like I get bored.
No. Yeah, I mean, you have to realize that you're on like a very high spectrum of people who like enjoy training in different ways.
Dude, it's hard to explain how much I enjoy it. Like people, like when people are like, I'm not motivated to go to the gym. I'm just like, why though?
What does that even mean?
Because like for me, it's like, yeah, we're working out. Like that's like my favorite thing, dude. Like, and that's like, as the cool kids say, no cap. That is the truth.
No cap, bro. Okay,
let's see here. Let's try and do a couple more questions. So if anyone wants their question answered, now is the time, because Daniel has to go get scoliosis at the gym. Yo, what's up, dudes? What's up, Manny? This stream has actually gone well, though. Hasn't been any too big of hiccups.
You had hiccups?
No, dude. So everyone that's been in the chat, let Danny know how out of all of the streams, pretty much been a problem every single time.
I listened to your first one with your buddy, and then you were like, "Can you hear me?" No. Dude, can you guys hear him? No. Damn it!
Dude, it was horrible.
And then you're like trying to figure out where do I put this audio input and output, and like, where.
You gave me some protein balls at San Jose Fit Expo like 2 years ago. I think that was more than 2 years ago, dude. I don't remember, but I don't think I've been to San Jose in a long time.
Damn it. I just went to San Jose a few days ago. Do you own some Vans? I do own Vans.
John dances for money. It's true, I do. I'm basically just this is basically my OnlyFans is how I treat it, So if you guys want to see me twerk,
Tips, boy.
I need them tips. Where do you think the fitness community is heading right now? Like trends? That's a good question. I would say the ones that have been really like that still are trending is like keto, right? That's a big one right now. I think intermittent fasting is a big thing. What else is there? I think that, and that like trends aren't always necessarily a bad thing. I think a good trend in fitness online right now is more functional fitness kind of stuff. Like not even saying like CrossFit functional fitness, but just like fitness that's more than just okay, this machine, and then we're gonna go to this machine, like things that are like your balance, and I think that's good that it's trending more towards that.
Can I try and make a like huge educated guess that we're gonna look back on in 2 years and be like, whoa, Danny called it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Based on the fact that like sports, I feel like are taking off like to more popularity than ever. And I mean, this might be a personal thing, but like I just realized that the more people I meet, like the more and more it seems like because of the availability of sports, that in a few years, like training like an athlete or following an app that has your favorite athlete's workout or something like that is going to be such a normal and like is going to explode.
Mhm.
You know, LeBron and like whoever are going to have like an app where you can like follow LeBron's workout for like $20 a month
Mhm.
or something like that. Or you know, your favorite soccer player, or like, you know, and training like these like high level athletes, which will be good in a way, but also be kind of bad.
Why do you think it'll be bad? Because it'll be like too advanced.
Not too advanced, just like I think there's a big thing where like people do like nutrition and training at an elite level when their goals are here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and I fell victim to this. Like I trained because I wanted to be like an elite bodybuilder,
Mhm.
but like realistically I wanted to feel healthy and I wanted to lose weight and I wanted to be fit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Right? So there's a huge disparity between like what it takes to be there and what it takes to actually just be like a normal healthy person.
Mhm.
Like it's very different.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I
hopefully
feel like
if they
Danny
did
is
that.
big brain. I'm big brain. What does that mean? I got big head? I do got big head. These headphones make it look I like when I put in headphones it looks like I gained 10 pounds. Look at I got a small face. And then like what the frick?
Me too,
Why
bro.
why do you look so pretty with headphones, bro? Oh dude, now you're super skinny.
Yeah, I would hope
You're so
that
cute.
if they do something like that, they would release like levels, you know. But even then, like it's hard for people. Even if they see the levels, they're gonna be like, "Nah, dude, I'm going to the top level. Like I can handle it." Probably not.
I am LeBron James.
I
now.
am LeBron. Someone said I got dressed up for this. Thanks, Maria. It's
I
important.
think there are too many people pushing too many diets. It makes it complicated for people trying to get started. Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's been a problem for the whole time that we've been doing this. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I do one of the things I do like, but I think of course there is the extremes. The like dietitians now that are taking a more natural approach to weight loss and sustainable weight loss, I think is really good. I think that when they fall into that extreme anti-diet side of things, it can be kind of harmful. But at the same time, like I view it as kind of like nowadays it's like there's a very slim line between what people actually think and what they put on a post just to make sure people click. And I mean, me and you do this, right? Like we take what we're talking about and make it like a bit more crazy than it seems, but then reality we're speaking down here, right? And so I find there's it's hard to find, especially in media now. It's hard to find the thin line between like, okay, is this person actually this is what they believe, or are they just trying to like get us get our attention?
Mhm.
And then if we read through the post, oh, okay, I can actually see what you mean now.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So I do like the trend of like dietitians kind of coming and being like, hey, you know, the stuff that we've been doing for a while that maybe hasn't been working as good as we thought. Here's some more things we can focus on, and that's I do like that aspect.
Yeah, that's that's a whole other can of worms that we can get into at another time, because you do have to go. But that's like
5 minutes.
yeah, I think like I don't know, man. Like I've talked a lot about like the like Instagram dietitians. People hate when I say that, but I don't mean it in a derogatory way. It's just that's where I see these posts, right? It's on Instagram, and like I think that I've said it before.
When you say that, do you mean like dietitians or like actually went to school, got a registered dietitian?
No,
like,
they're I would hope they're all actually dietitians.
Okay, because see what I thought you meant by that was like Instagram like people who like thought they were dietitians.
Oh no,
Because then a lot of people were commenting on your thing like, what's her even credentials, blah blah blah, or whatever, and I was like, that's why I kind of thought was like, oh, is he mean like dietitians, or does he mean like, oh no, they're actual dietitians? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I've seen that, or nutritionists too, whatever. Um, it seems like, because I've actually had people in my DMs that, like, after I've talked about this, they're like dietitians or nutritionists, and I guess in that space there's lots of arguments about like approaching things with tracking in any aspect, right? Like just trying to help people understand calories and macros. There's that kind of camp, and there's the camp of like the health at every size, or like mindful nutrition kind of stuff, where it's like they basically say any form of tracking and any form of like a restriction is disordered eating or an eating disorder, right? And there's like arguments in the dietitian space between those people, and like I think a lot of these like dietitians and stuff that say like tracking is an eating disorder and all this stuff, I believe they come from a good place. Like I don't think that they're out there trying to like make people feel like they have eating disorders, but I think that like where they're coming from is from a very specific point of view, right? Like they are thinking, like they're coming from the point of view of a lot of them I've spoken to people is like a lot of them actually did struggle with eating disorders in the past, and that's what led them to even be interested in becoming dietitians or nutritionists, right? Because they had those problems, and it's like that's not a moral judgment. I struggled with binge eating and stuff like that, so I am not at all saying that I'm better than these people by any means, right? Mm-hmm. It's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm just trying to like understand the path, right? And so they have those problems, they get over it or whatever, and then they're like, okay, well, I'm still super interested in nutrition, I'm still super interested in all of these things, and then they go and they become nutritionist, dietitian, whatever word. I know that those are two actually different things. I know that. But then they start giving advice or giving like these things that are based in that reality of themselves, right? Of everyone is going to turn into me. And it's like, I understand you wanting to save people from that. Of course I understand that. But not everyone is there. And there are people on the other side of the spectrum that are trying to lose weight and they don't know what to do. So for them, learning how to track and at least understanding how many calories are in these certain types of things, for them could be the thing that literally saves their life, right? And then it's frustrating when now these people over here that are, trying to lose weight because they're genuinely trying to save their own lives, now they feel like these dietitians are like mad at them and they're making them like feel bad for even trying to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, I think that's where, like I said, the extreme level of that is where it gets into the wrong part. Because, I mean, in reality, whenever you take two extremes, the most realistic approach is going to be what's in the middle. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird because, like, I 100% agree with everything you're saying, but at the same time, I also see that, like, we're coming from our experience and saying what we're saying, whereas they're coming from their experience saying what they're saying, right? So then we look wrong, and to us, they look wrong, right? So whenever I have these conversations, I always keep that in mind as far as, like, we are in our own realm, have created our own space of, like, people who track and have had success. And as someone who's even, like, not 100% supportive of tracking like I used to be, that's the realm we created and what we're around, right? For them, it might be what they're talking about is the realm they've created and what they see on a regular basis, right? So you're both coming from areas of, like, being supported of your idea because of that, of what you're choosing to talk about and the people you're choosing to follow and people who are choosing to follow you, right? So, like, they're going to have people that can say the same thing about what we're talking about. They say, oh, well, you have that extra, that side of, like, people who are doing really well and change their life, but you have people who are not. And then on our side, we have people that are really doing well and change their life and people who are not, right? So that's when it's, like, hard to really, like, concrete be like, no, you're, in my eyes, just to say, like, you're wrong or because of your approach. Because, like, at the end of the day, we're all kind of in our own realms doing the same thing, and it's when those realms kind of intertwine is where those problems kind of occur and the arguments kind of occur. But at the end of the day, like you said, at the end of the day, we all want people to be happy and healthy. Like, that's it. And however you achieve that, obviously, hopefully it's in a good way that gets you to a true happy and healthy place. But I mean, that's going to look different for different people. And but yeah, we'll have to talk about that on
Yeah.
another one. I appreciate you having me on, man. You know, I miss chatting with you. I appreciate you bringing me on and the kind words and the opportunity and everything. And I love what you're doing, man. Like, you know, recently I found that you're getting to a place with your content where you're definitely like using a higher level of like looking at everything, versus a bit ago I felt like you were very like, this is the one side and like, here we go. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I think you're getting more better at like, because of these intense, you know, conversations and controversial topics you're covering. You're doing better and better at being like, okay, you know, I'm going to open the conversation to people, kind of like Philip DeFranco, right?
Hmm.
Like, it's not just like, here's my opinion along with all the stuff that agrees with it. It's like, hey, here's this crazy situation. You know, I may have my opinion, but what do you guys think? So I think it's cool that you're starting to do that more, and I applaud you for the side of YouTube you've like jumped into, because I can't imagine the daily stuff and feedback you get now
Yeah,
with
man, it's
everything.
been it's I think a lot of people don't believe me when I say like I really do try and see all sides, because like I really do. But like just because I see all sides, it doesn't change that I feel a certain way about things. And like, you know, if someone makes me change my mind, then by all means. But it's like I'm not gonna stop believing what I believe just because maybe it might like hurt someone's feelings or something like that. You know, I never go out and intend to do that. That's never my like my choice. But like, yeah. One second, I need to block
Yeah.
someone.
But yeah, I definitely would say continue to you know, push into that and pursue into that, because I think at the end of the day it will just lead to more and more positive conversations and
Mhm.
leaps in the stuff that you truly do believe in, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure, bro. All right, well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it, and everyone go follow Danny. Danny Gets Fit on Instagram. Was it Fat Loss and Family now on YouTube's?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you search Fat Loss and Family on Instagram, you'll find me too.
All right. Perfect, bro. All right. See you later.
Have a
Dude.
good one, man. We'll talk soon.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, I have to go change the battery in my camera, you guys, so I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. Oh, I don't need to put that on. I missed the super chat. Did I? Danny, you had so much content. You need to film the bad times, not just the good. Oh, well, I'm sorry he didn't see that. I'm sure he probably saw it if he was looking at the chat when it rolled by. Jeez, did he come back? God, that's so annoying. John, I love the bun. Thank you so much. Am I the only one that thought this interview was very intense and kind of weird? I didn't think it was intense. I thought we were just having a real conversation about stuff. I don't know. Danny seemed to be fine. I don't know. I think it's more fun to have real conversations than like, I don't know, like fake ones. I don't think there's any mods in here right now. Are you guys friends today? Well, I mean, I wouldn't have him on the channel if I wasn't friends with him. Can I volunteer to be a mod? Yes, Ashley, you can. So we'll make you a mod because I understand. I think I only have 2 mods on here right now. So, and then we'll have good old Michael be a mod. because he is here every day. Okay. So a lot of you guys have, because we reacted to the first version of this yesterday, or the first installment, so I want to...
The process itself sucks.
All right. So we are going to do... Oh, is that I kind of wanted to... Is that Sarah Bird Girl still in the live stream? Because I kind of wanted to have like a conversation over the stream with her. No, she's not. It doesn't look like she's here. She said she is going to Discord for you. I think she left. Ah, man. Oh, so Abby Sharp posted a response. Okay, man, it would have been cool to have an actual like talk with her over. A talk with her over. Like, so you guys can see it, you know. Okay, well, so let's watch this response from good old Greg Doucette. This is the part 2. Yesterday we reacted to the first one, so if you haven't seen it, I apologize, but I'm not going to obviously rewatch the first one. So let's do it.
Super shredded. Yikes. I just don't understand how any of this is worth it.
You don't understand what it's like to be an athlete, Abby. You don't get it.
I haven't seen this yet, by the way. The first one I saw already.
Coach Greg, and today yet another installment of the Abby Shark video series.
Very smart of him also to do it in 2 parts, like make 2 videos on one topic. Nice.
Where I dispel the myth that Abby tries to say that she understands what she's talking about. She knows nothing about what she's talking about, as in a zero knowledge.
I also just want to point out that while a lot of you begged for this video...
Oh, 1 second. You guys can't even see me. Let me fix that. 1 second. Sorry. I need to fix this, and there we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Let's keep watching.
Some also warned me that he's probably going to attack me for this, but here I go anyway because I apparently love you all a lot.
But here I go anyway because I'm gonna get a lot of YouTube ad revenue from clout chasing Greg Doucette. Yeah, Coach Greg has got a lot of clout now. I'm gonna do a video. So even though he's gonna do a response video, putting me in my place and burying my information, I'm doing a video because I'd rather have negative attention than positive attention.
That's, I mean, clout chasing on YouTube is a pretty standard practice now. Also, what if we don't want to see you, John? Well, that's not very nice.
So I just don't understand how any of this is worth it.
Do you think Abby has ever starved herself to try to win a bodybuilding or bikini competition? Do you think she knows what it's like to have extreme levels of hunger and try to win a show, to enjoy that challenge of seeing how good you can be, to take your body to that level? She doesn't know what it's like to be me at all. She's comfortable maintaining her weight at whatever it is, and she's happy and good for her. I'm comfortable at my weight right now, and good for me. And every now and then I choose to enter a competition, a challenge, to see how far I can take it. And that's fun for me. And I'm not saying you should do it. In fact, I've made videos directly saying you probably shouldn't do it. Recent videos. And I bet Abby has watched my videos. She had to cherry pick the best ones to accept her fat acceptance movement. Okay.
I think that that's a good point, and I'm... oh, wait. Why is this... Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that, huh? Let me fix that. Stop doing that. Let it go away. One second. I'm gonna turn this off. There we go. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I think that it's good to talk about like the realistic, like the realities of being super shredded, because yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not a super healthy thing for most people to do, right?
She's simply a biased dietitian who wants to spew lies so that you can watch her channel and make more money. I'm not bullshitting you. I want to make more money. I don't BS it. But I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear, which we're going to get into detail when I go over the lies she says in the video.
I just do not see the payoff when the process itself sucks. And the end result is not even necessarily a state of health.
Because you don't understand what it's like to be an athlete, Abby. You don't get it. You think people that do the Tour de France are enjoying every second of the torture they're riding when they have a broken clavicle and they're finishing the Tour de France? When they're racing up a mountain for 21 days with maybe 1 or 2 days off? Do you think it's enjoyable for them to crash and get off the bike and have a broken wheel and chase back on and catch up? Is that fun? Is it?
So JC's down 200. Any tips for better chest activation? It kind of depends on what you have available to you at the gym. But things that really helped me a lot was when I would do flies. If you actually think about bringing your pinkies together, like think about like if you're sitting here and you do, if you're just sitting here and you do this, like your chest is going to be a little bit activated, but think about bringing your pinkies together and you'll feel your chest activate a lot more. So that helped me a lot, was just like during flies doing that. And then over time I was able to actually feel it throughout other things. So hopefully that answers your question. But I think that what he just brought up was a great point, like talking about like athletes and stuff like that. Like I think being an athlete doesn't mean that you're the pinnacle of health, right? And I think that that's something that a lot of like athletes would say, especially like when, like he was saying, like the Tour de France, like killing your body every single day. No, that's not like the pinnacle of health, and like, but they're pushing for a specific reason. So like with Greg's videos, I know that a lot of people were like, well, she was like critiquing a video of him getting shredded for a a bodybuilding show. Like, of course that is not sustainable. And I'm sure he said, hey, I'm doing this for the show. This is just what I'm eating for the show, right?
It's the challenge. You set a goal and you try to achieve it. Those of you who've climbed Mount Everest, there's not many. It was a hard challenge. It's freezing up there. You're exerting yourself over and over every single day with lower amounts of oxygen. It's harder than last time. Every day gets harder. But then you climb the mountain and you achieved your goal, your dream, and you made it. That's why I do it. Not for the plastic trophy that y'all think it's for. It's the challenge. I don't care if there's money at the end. I do it to see if I can. I do it because I want to. And is the suffering immense? Abso-friggin-lutely. Do I want you to suffer like me? No. Do I suggest you take up bodybuilding and compete like me? No. Do I want people to maintain the same body fat percentage as me year round? No. I don't ever say these things. So stop making straw man arguments, making it look like I've said things when I haven't. I have not, and don't promote or encourage this. I don't think everyone should go out there and diet like a bodybuilder and be 5% body fat. Other YouTubers seem to do it too. They make it look like I'm all about being ripped. I'm not against eating. No, I'm about being healthy.
And the end
This is a great response so far.
result is not even necessarily a state of health or anything that could possibly be sustained for any meaningful amount of time.
I can sustain this for a long, meaningful time. I haven't done a show since November. It's July. That's over a month. If you're good at math, it's over 8 months. Better do that. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Look at that. I'm so good at math.
Good job,
Over
Greg.
8 months it's been. Do I look fat? Do I look like I've maintained a decent build?
I just hope that his viewers understand that this is one person's aesthetic goals.
Of course my viewers understand this. You are not one of my viewers. That's why you don't understand what's happening. You should watch more actual videos.
And aesthetic goals are fine, but this specifically should not be taken as an example of good health.
When do I ever say that you should diet to under 5% body fat as an example of good health? I promote the opposite of this in my videos.
Also, as you know, I am not a sports dietitian specialist, so I did consult with a few of my sports RD colleagues for this video.
So I don't know anything about what Greg's talking about.
I knew that's what he was gonna say right here.
So I asked some other people that might know, because they're sports nutrition experts. Yeah, so they know everything about what a professional bodybuilder needs to do to get under 5% body fat.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because, like, just because you might know about, like, sports nutrition, that doesn't really, like, sports nutrition versus getting shredded for a bodybuilding show is so unbelievably different.
For one day on one show. Yeah, those people are such experts, they clearly know more than Coach Greg. Abby obviously knows way more than me because I'm not a registered dietitian. What would I know? And I didn't consult with a sports nutritionist. They went to university to study nutrition. What does Greg know? He only has a master's in kinesiology with 25 years of competitive bodybuilding experiences and coached thousands of people with eating disorders and helped them lose weight and be happy and healthy mentally, physically, emotionally. No, don't listen to Greg. He don't know nothing.
All right, so this is the finished product. This is what 6 French toast looks like with the syrup, the green shake.
And I used to record my videos with my camera on that little chicken noodle soup box that you see in the computer room. I used to put it right there and press record and do my videos. That's how old this review is. And
Yeah, that's one of the things. 100% is she went way too far back in the video. It's like when she did a video on me, it was like I was like, dude, this video is so old. And it was like, she said, like, well, he doesn't do many full day of eating videos. It's like, yeah, because I don't sit here and tell people what to eat. So, like, what is the point in like, reviewing them? And especially, like, again, she was nice to me, but, like, I say it so much in my videos. I'm not saying you need to eat this. I'm not saying you need to eat this. This is just what I'm eating. And so it was like, when she made the video, honestly, it was like, well, I don't know. Like, what even is the point, right?
French freaking toast. And it tastes amazing. And let's see what she says about this bodybuilder diet that's not sustainable. And let me remind you, this is so that I could get under 5% body fat.
One study published in 2013 concluded that consuming protein and carbohydrate.
Hi, Ashley. Welcome to the poop show.
Immediately within 45 minutes after an extreme bout of exercise can increase the rate of glycogen storage in the muscle. Meanwhile, a more recent study from 2017 refuted the narrow post-exercise window theory.
I said in my freaking video, I don't have to eat right after the gym because I ate only a few hours back.
But only if there was a pre-workout meal consumed within a few hours prior to the workout.
So why did she waste freaking 5 minutes in this video speaking
For everyone that was saying, I'm just letting you know that we're like, oh, that seemed like a weird conversation with you and Danny. He just texted me and said, I think that went well. Just so you know, I'm going to respond to him real quick. Thanks for being so open and honest.
sense trying to look like I didn't know what I was talking about when she finishes by saying, listen to exactly what Greg is talking about.
So when I've consulted with sports dietitians, they all say that, yes, new research suggests that the window might not be quite as narrow as we used to think.
Abby, so you then consulted with your sports scientist, specialist, nutritionist, and then said, yeah, actually, Greg is right. That's literally what just happened here. Come on!
Anyways, let's take a look what Greg ate after his workout.
5 minutes later, let's see what Greg ate after his workout.
Okay, so same, but kind of different, I guess. Basically, we're seeing lots of veggies, fiber, protein, and not surprisingly, not a lot of fat.
Does it not just show how much I'm willing to suffer to get shredded? And if that's what I can eat to get shredded, imagine how much I could eat if I didn't want to get shredded, if I just wanted to maintain a normal healthy body fat of 15%, which is what I promote for men.
He usually has an optional snack of either some Smart Pop popcorn, a light yogurt ice cream bar, or a homemade protein bar, which he didn't today because he is pushing himself to get super shredded. Yikes.
But I know that
Dude, like, of course he's trying to get super shredded. That's like literally his job.
she wanted to maintain a shredded physique or to get to be shredded, she'd probably eat like Coach Greg. She wouldn't at first, but eventually she would. Once she would discover how good my diet actually is in the real freaking world, the real world, not imagination land where everyone's happy at 50% body fat. Not in imagination land when people who are morbidly obese are happy with how they look. Yeah, the fat acceptance movement, that's great. Be proud of what you look like. Be happy with it. All I want is for you. That's right, you right freaking there, you, whoever's watching this, you watching this right here. I want you to do better than last time. I don't want you to be perfect. I don't expect you to be perfect. Do better. Better. Eat a bit better. If you got drunk twice this week, next week get drunk only once. If you're abusing drugs, abuse less drugs. If you eat a shit ton of junk food, eat less junk food. If you did 4 days a week of walking, do 5 next time or add 5 minutes. That's all I'm saying. Do better than you did. Do better than last time. Work harder. Not trying to say hate yourself and be miserable because you're overweight. I'm encouraging you to be better.
But for the average person, opting to not have a snack if you are actually hungry will typically end in breaking diet and risking a massive binge.
Abby,
Well, I'd say that's pretty obvious.
buy a coaching plan from me, watch it, read it, and then do an apology video saying how wrong you were about Coach Greg. But yeah, you're a pretty smart woman. Use my name to get views. That's smart. That's a good way to do it. A lot of people are going to watch you. And I don't mind, because in the end, 5,000 at least of Abby's followers are going to watch some of Coach Greg's videos. And guess what? The first one they're going to hate. Not all of them, but most. Then they're going to watch another one, and another one, and another one. Within 2 weeks, they're addicted. They're like, wow, I misjudged this Greg Doucette guy.
I would say 100% I agree with that. Like, I remember when I first saw one of Greg's videos, I was like, oh, I don't know about this guy. He's like over the top, he's yelling, he's just like, I don't know if I agree. And I wasn't really listening to what he was saying. But then once I started to actually listen to what he was saying and started to like really think about the words he was actually saying, not just the way he was saying things, I was like, I like what Greg says for the most part. I would say for the most part I agree with pretty much most of what he says.
He actually has amazing information. He really cares about my health and my fitness. He's trying to help me. 2 weeks guaranteed. If you watch 10 videos, you're going to be addicted and watch my videos. It's guaranteed. And I'm right 99.5% of the time. So yeah, there'll be a few it's not guaranteed on. But the vast majority of you that watch enough of my videos, you are going to like them. You will like them more than you like Abby's videos. Unless you're a freaking couch potato and you want to be told what you want to hear, not what you need to hear.
Let's
Greg is going savage right now.
take a look at one more day. I mean, I usually do 3, I know, but most of his days looked so similar, and all of them were...
Yeah, so someone said he got no viewers when he was chill. It's a personality. I mean, yeah, 100%. I would say, not that it's a personality. I would say it's him just, turned up to 11, which, when you're talking about YouTube and you're talking about trying to get people to watch you, it is what it is. Like, people people obviously like that. So if it worked for you, then it works for you. I think what's most important is the content and what you're saying in the content, right? And yes, he's yelling, but what he's saying is actually good information, right?
recorded on prep. So I didn't feel like we needed to watch 3.
I'm so biased that normally when I review a YouTuber, I look at 3 videos. But for Coach Greg, I'm only going to do 2.
Yeah, that was a bad call on her part for sure.
Because every other diet would support him being a great fitness influencer. So I can't do that. So rather than review the diet plan, rather than review the meals he's currently eating that he shows on YouTube that are there right now that everyone can see, I'm going to go and pick a video of him dieting for a professional bodybuilding contest when he's trying to get under 5% body fat from November when the video isn't even up, it's taken down. It doesn't even exist anymore. Let's review that video. Abby, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? 2,500 calorie, full day of eating, what I'm eating to get sub 5% body fat cutting.
Oof.
Does that sound like a normal diet to you?
Nope.
Or does that sound like she cherry-picked a diet that I was doing briefly to look a certain way to try to win a freaking competition?
Yep.
So please.
It would be like, dude, like it would genuinely be like if she went years and years ago to when I was prepping for my Men's Physique show and got a video of the last full day of eating I did before I competed and then said, look at what he's promoting. This is what he thinks you should do. And I'd be like, are you kidding me? Like, I don't even agree with that. And yes, I was eating, for me, I was eating 2,100 calories to get as lean as I could. But it's like, that's not fair because that obviously I wasn't promoting that as a way of eating. It was like, this is what I'm eating right now to get as shredded as I can for this show, right? So I completely agree that that was so wrong. So wrong to do. So wrong to to his character, and so wrong to, someone that their job is to help other people lose weight, to make him seem like he's some psychopath that's like making people eat barely any food. I think that was I would say the biggest flaw in her video.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's now saying that the video is unavailable to me. I know that's not ideal, but of course for these clips, I've had to supplement the video with my own notes on what he ate and what he said. Please, I do hope that you understand.
Why didn't you just type Greg Doucette diet and review a different one?
Yeah.
Why didn't you review the one that I just did? The one with blueberry French toast for breakfast and mangoes.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand that point. Like, if that video's gone, then just find a different one. I'm sure he has other full day of eating videos.
I'm not totally sure if the protein ice cream is the same as what we saw on day 1 or what goes into it. So I don't know if it offers any fat or extra protein or other nutrients.
Dog, I swear Abby she always talks about fat. It's always, there's not enough fat. You're not eating enough fat. You need to put in more fat. It's like, she always brings it up. And then she's even saying here, I don't know what's inside of this. So I don't know if there's enough fat in it. It's like, well, what about the other stuff? There's other stuff that's in that too.
However, I am assuming that it's water-based to make it low-fat.
So I don't know, and I don't know, but I'm assuming, and here's a video I spent 6 months researching on this guy to present you information on a video that he posted months ago when there's current videos that I could have reviewed, but they're not the videos I wanted because I wanted to cherry pick this old video that's been taken down so that I can say I don't like Coach Greg.
Another thing I do want to flag, though, is that he refers to this shake as anabolic, which is a term that I hear a lot throughout his videos. Greg also promotes his cookbook, The Anabolic Kitchen, but I'm still unclear.
Does anyone in chat have his cookbook? I've heard good things about it.
He actually follows a strict traditional anabolic diet.
Okay, she doesn't know what the word anabolic means. It's to build freaking muscle, Abby.
Yeah.
Do some research. You watch so many of my videos. You know that I use the word anabolic all the time, but you couldn't research what does that mean.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when my friend wrote me this morning and was like, Greg, man, I watched a video of that nutritionist and she's a Karen. So what did I say? I'm so mad at her. She's a Karen, ? I said, does that mean she's not caring?
Oh my gosh.
And then he wrote, she's a Karen. She's like, ask Allie. So I asked her. Allie's like, oh, it's a meme for people that complain about useless stuff. So maybe that sums up what this woman's doing for me. She's a
So it looks like a lot of you guys have it. Interesting. Maybe I should pick it up and then try some of the that'd be kind of fun to do like a full day of eating if I get the cookbook and cook some of the meals. I'm not sure how much Greg likes me though, or if he'd want me to do that, to be honest.
Steve, you better delete, edit. I mean, Steve, edit out, bloop. The hell's the word? Steve, bloop out the word because it's probably offensive to people that are named and we don't want that backlash. So you got to bloop out. It was a meme. I didn't even know.
Ashay said, "Hey, Obese Beast, I'm personally on a huge weight loss journey myself. I've lost 103 kg, 227 pounds. Thanks for saying the pounds. And I'm down to a normal BMI. Huge inspiration. Congratulations. That's awesome. 100% worth it. I'd pay to see you make recipes. I'm so bad at cooking, though. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Maybe I'll try it. We'll see."
The term existed, okay? So don't hate me. I'm just saying what people said. I'm like reading out what pretend it's oh, I don't want to offend people because I said and I don't mean I'm not trying to be offensive.
Gosh.
I'm not a doctor. Did I tell you about that? Just forget it. Forget I said anything.
A typical anabolic diet is a carb cycling diet, meaning it alternates low and high carb days.
What? I just friggin' eat. And if you're in a deficit, you lose weight. And if you're in a surplus, you gain weight. I eat a decent amount of protein. You don't need more than 1 gram per pound of body weight. You can if you want, but you don't need to eat that much. I do. And I eat to be happy and I enjoy what I'm eating. That's what I preach and promote.
However, I'm not sure if Greg does the whole carb cycling thing or if he just eats anabolic foods.
I don't really get it. Maybe she paid people to research my videos. She didn't actually watch any of my videos.
Yeah, I don't get that at
and
all.
just selected those that a paid researcher did.
Yeah, so it's $100 for the cookbook. But I mean, if I make a video out of it, I think it's worth it. I don't know, maybe I'll do it. I just filmed a full day of eating that'll be going up later today. That's a regular full day of eating. But I think it would be kind of fun. Who knows? Maybe I'll try it. You guys have inspired me.
And say, hey, do a video on this guy, and she has a total misrepresentation of who I am because she hasn't actually watched him herself. That would make sense. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. It might be her paid researchers who put together a video and said, do a video on Coach Greg. You'll get a lot of views. I'm going to assume that's the case.
However, I'm not sure if Greg does the whole carb cycling thing or if he just eats anabolic foods, which it looks to me like his interpretation of that is low fat, high protein, and higher carb.
Dog, it's like she is purposefully not understanding what he's saying when he says anabolic. Anabolic also, obviously, he's referring to it as just muscle building. Like, higher protein probably. Like, I don't know. I think it's such a silly thing that she is, like, bringing up here.
Do I preach not to eat any healthy fats at all, people? I eat salmon, smoked salmon. I don't even love salmon, although I'm starting to like the smoked salmon a little bit. Never liked it before. But if you try and eat something over a while, you'll start to like it. And yeah, sometimes I don't eat something that I like the most. I eat salmon because it's healthy. Mm-hmm. I like chicken, and I like...
Dog, I cannot eat cooked fish. No thank you. I can eat, like, raw fish, like sushi or poke, but, like, cooked fish, no thank you.
I eat more than salmon, but I eat salmon for the health of it. I also like pizza more than salmon.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it. You're the man.
And guess what? I eat salmon instead of pizza. Why? I eat salmon instead of cookies and chips, donuts, hamburgers, lots of food. I eat salmon instead of it for health reasons. Because my body is a temple and I want to treat it as such. I want it to be better than last time.
Dog, he says his body's a temple. My body is like a trash can. Let's be real here.
More fit than last time, or fitter than last time. Is there something wrong with that?
I would way rather see more antioxidant-rich fruits for sweetness and less artificially sweetened syrups.
And I'd rather see people...
That's a great point, Shannon. So, it says, I feel like Abby's reviews are fine for some female influencers who are more aligned with her clients, but she does not get athletes at all, nor does she put in the effort. Yeah, she basically is like, you don't eat exactly like I do. Hey, John, I'm eating 2 out of the can right now. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's the trash can diet right there.
Eat less freaking pizza and more salmon. But you gotta do what you can do, okay, Abby?
He then adds in a ton of veggies and spinach, and again tops it off with some more of that low calorie or low
Like the fact that she had to put his words in there. Like, I don't cuss, but it's like, you don't have to be so, I don't know. Like, come on.
fat sauce.
She literally deleted out the word shit. She didn't dare say it.
And it's nice to see that even a bodybuilder is being more mindful of the amount of meat he's eating.
Oh, I'm triggered. I'm taking offense. Even a bodybuilder. Oh, she should have warned me before she called me a bodybuilder. That has negative connotations. I don't associate myself with being a bodybuilder. I'm a friggin' circle. I don't want to be called a bodybuilder. She triggered me. I don't like this. Is that what a is? Am I now?
Oh my God.
I am personally unsure how these fitness competitors stick to the same like handful of foods every single day for life.
Dedication.
But anyway, let's see what's next.
Oh, I'm just wondering how these bodybuilders eat the same 5 or 10 foods every day. But anyway, what the hell was that? When do I eat just the same 5 foods? I eat 20 different vegetables for starters. I think I ate 5 foods today already and I only ate once.
Greg mentions having a very sore hip, but pushing through because there are no excuses. That is such bad advice, and no personal trainer I have ever worked with would ever tell their clients to work out despite a big injury.
I don't tell people if you're hurt and injured, you go to the gym anyway and work out. That is not what I do. I do the opposite of that. My clients write me all the time. They injure their back. I'll say, hey, if you can't train, you can't train. Go to the doctor. Get yourself checked out. I can't comment. The video's too long anyway. I don't promote people to go and exercise an injured body part. But when I broke my freaking tricep in a bike crash, guess what? I went to the gym and I trained the left arm.
Would have done the same thing, bro. 100%.
I trained my legs. I didn't train this arm, it was injured. But I kept training. I didn't just give up and sulk and make excuses not to work out. Oh, I broke my arm. I literally did. I had surgery and reattached my tricep from a bike crash in the winter. I freaking found an excuse to go. Well, I could still train my left arm.
Yep.
I could still do cardio. I could still ride a bike stationary. Does that make more sense? Or does it make more sense to say, well, it's an uncertain time. I should just probably eat a lot of chips and sit on my ass?
See, that's like, this is such a good point, because a lot of people, they got like, when I hurt my back over quarantine and I was like working with a physical therapist and we were like working through planes of motion and we were working to get myself healthy, people were like, oh my gosh, you just work out too hard and all you care about is working out. It's like, dude, I am literally doing what I can to make myself better. Like, what is so wrong about wanting to get better? Like, I don't understand why so many people got triggered by the fact that I was injured, and I was like, okay, what can I still do even though I'm injured to move and hopefully make things better? And people were like, I can't believe you're doing this. And I'm like, dude, I'm doing freaking push-ups. Like, what is the problem? Like, why is this such a big deal? Like, it's such a weird shift in like the mentality of people.
So that's the advice I give, but she makes it look like I just tell people to train when they're injured.
So this idea around weight loss and making it seem easily attainable for everyone.
I like watching this video better with your commentary. Well, I'm glad that you enjoy it more. I'm not gonna lie, I get very self-conscious when I'm watching this if I haven't said something in too long, because then I'm like, well, I feel like I'm just stealing this person's content. But hopefully it adds something, because I do enjoy doing this. This is one of my favorite things about the live streams.
Is not only not supported by research, but it is so insensitive and uninformed.
It is not easy. When did I say weight loss is easy? You have to eat less calories than you burn. Your body wants you to eat. It's not easy. Why do you think I eat all those freaking spinach salads with freaking syrup? Does that sound like it's easy? It's freaking insanely difficult. It's so hard. It's harder than last time.
Environment, microbiome, hormones, disease, medication, and even restriction. Weight is the result of much more.
So this is a great comment from Jean-Philippe Pord. I'm not going to be able to say your name right. I apologize. But she says, Abby seems to only care about people who had under-eating disorders, but she seems blind about people who have overeating disorders. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I think. I think like it's just she's focused too much on a specific person.
than just calories in and calories out.
Nope. Weight is exactly from calories in and calories out.
Yep.
And all those factors simply influence calories in or calories out. If you have a poor metabolism, then that means you burn less calories. That means you need to eat less. If you have a fast metabolism, lucky you, that means you get to eat more. If you're super skinny, you can't gain weight, that just means you need to eat more. If you want to be obese, if you want to be a sumo wrestler and you're skinny, you have to eat more calories. Calories in, calories out. You can't debate that. The number one thing you need to do when you decide if somebody knows what they're talking about, if you want to listen to their advice, is do they understand it's calories in, calories out? If they don't, you have to stop listening to them immediately. It means they don't know what they're talking about.
Yep. I'm telling you, if someone says losing weight is more than calories in, calories out, they're going to try and sell you something. I'm telling you right now. Does it mean that calories out, calories in, calories out isn't complicated? And there's a lot of aspects that go into how many calories are going to be going out of your body? Yes. And how many calories will go into your body? Yes. But calories in, calories out.
Oh, it's hormones. Then you start thinking, no, I can't lose weight. I just need to eat more and get my hormones
I think in the background that's his girlfriend, I think, or fiance or wife, his partner.
up. And then I'll just magically burn fat. No, calories in, calories out every single freaking time.
My sports dietitian colleagues suggested that most competitors are looking at a 20 to 40% caloric deficit from their baseline, and it's safest to not lose more than 0.5 to 1% of body weight per week. In any kind of normal situation, 2 pounds a week would not be safe or sustainable as a rate of weight loss.
1% of 200 pounds, which I was dieting from, is 2 pounds a week. 1,000 calorie deficit a day, 7,000 calories a week, 2 pounds a week. They said you shouldn't diet more than 20 to 40% of a deficit from your baseline. 20 to 40% of my baseline of 3,500 is 700 to 1,400 calories is where I should be dieting. Somewhere in that range. I was on a 1,000 calorie deficit. That seems to be right in the range, but oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. GregDoucette.com for coaching, Greg Doucette IP Pro. Blooping up videos over here, be sure to check that out. Don't miss any of this series. It's absolutely incredible what this girl does. And until next time, I am out.
I wonder is he going to make another one? Was that the whole thing? Or is there going to be another one? Wow. If he makes 3 videos, wow, he is killing it. Someone sent me the her text response. So thanks to Muffin in Discord for sending this into the reaction request tab. I appreciate it. It makes it much easier when I'm trying to find things, so I'm not just trying to Hey, it doesn't seem like it's here anymore. I think she might have deleted it. Dang it. I think she deleted it because all that there is this, which is, has nothing to do. How was everyone's weekend? We had a fun day at my hubby's family farm with their neighborhoods and their kids. Here's a pic of Biggie climbing on the hay. What did you do? It's Monday. That means I'm super excited about sharing today's video with you all. Clue, it's a BIPOC. What is that? Black Indigenous Person of Color Beauty YouTuber who is heavily dieting. Scroll down. Oh. But these are all older, right? Because this video was just released today. I thought that there was I think that there was, because I know I saw this one a few days ago. I read the, oh wait, maybe she, okay, well, oh wow. Oh, okay. So she updated this, it looks like. Yeah, edited. When did she edit this? Okay, does it show you? I guess it just tells you that it's edited. Okay, so my bad. Okay. So let's read this. So it says, thank you for your patience. Sorry if I'm loud. I'm like right next to the mic. Thanks for your patience while I tried to collect some additional information to supplement the video I posted on Monday. I had to spend even more time doing some more research and added a bunch of new notes in the description and pinned comment. I'm also including those notes here for you. Thanks for the overwhelming support and love you all sent me. What is this? Is this just her video?
Really?
Yeah, it's just her video. Wow, 14,000 dislikes. While a gender policy is to spend an 8-hour day watching YouTube content for review, plus it generally takes an additional 8 to 16 hours for research. Here, let me bring these comments over so I can actually see your comments while I'm reading this. Oh no, that's annoying because you'll be able to see it. John, I hope you know that you helped so many people. If I were you, I'd be higher than a plane. Sorry, I'm missing some of them. Okay, let me just read this. I'm sorry if I missed some of the comments, but I'm going to try and read this. Okay, not to mention I even consulted 2 dietitian colleagues who specialize in this field and are familiar with Greg's content and diet. While I stand by my critique of the content I saw and the words I heard from Greg, he has contradicted these statements elsewhere or provided context that I missed. Because again, I didn't and just cannot reasonably watch everything. See my thoughts below. Unfortunately for anyone, not just me, watching particular random videos, even much less than 8 hours, this context would be lost. So it was clearly lost on me, and I was looking for, and I was looking for it. Upon further reflection, however, I did remove part of my video discussing the video of himself, discussing the video he himself had removed from his channel. If it's on his channel, I assume that it's still relevant in some way to him, but if he removed it, I am satisfied that he is no longer aligned with the content, so I must respect that fully. I also need to disclose that we shot this back in March/April, I believe, right around the start of COVID, and as you can probably tell by my modest belly, well, that's weird that she shot it so long ago and she still decided to release it. That's kind of interesting. Okay, sorry. So because of that, I didn't see his most recent videos, and I'm including some learnings below from that. I am sure you know that I'm watching Greg's content from a very different lens and worldview given my professional and personal experience, and since Greg and I have very different communication styles, I most likely do not get him. Look at, she used that quotes even in her response, her text response. I get the sense that his approach is funny or motivational to some people, and it is just not my style. Having said that, I really tried not to criticize Greg himself and stuck to some of the comments he made. My goal with these reviews is to not misrepresent the YouTuber or tarnish their reputation, but rather to look at how their recommendations may apply to the general population who can watch their videos from abroad. In this video, even when I made a comment or recommendation for the general population, non-bodybuilding population, I gave lots of disclaimers and acknowledgments that Greg's goals are unique, and therefore in a lot of cases I understood, quotes again, why he was choosing the foods he was choosing. I also think I gave Greg a lot of credit and respect in this video for his hard work related to his lifestyle, even if that's not something I would recommend. I don't think that it was, I thought that she was kind of, she didn't seem to be like, I respect Greg so much. Like, it would have been very easy just to say that, right? Okay. Blah, 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 hard work related to something. Okay. Also, of course, it would be great for me to review Greg's cookbook, but as a general rule to these, I only review free content by a creator, and Greg's book is $99. Well, like, whatever, man. She probably sells t-shirts that are $30, right? Like, so, like, hating on him because he sells a cookbook that's $99, that's so silly to me. And yes, I was able to see Greg disclosing his use of PEDs a few times in my research, but I was advised by my team not to repeat this back and keep it top level. Then why even bring it up? Like, what is he, like, why even bring up the fact that, oh, he might be on steroids, but I'm not saying it? Then just skip over it if you don't want to bring that up. Like, it's so silly to me. Sorry. This, as I alluded to, is why Greg can eat low fat, and I actually even said that his diet wasn't even that low fat considering his situation. Okay. Jeez, this is a lot. Okay, well, let's read through it. A few updated notes after watching a few more videos. Greg addresses genetic factors / set point here, and I'm glad to see this, and I know Greg is no dummy, and he knows these play a role, but again, he still does heavily preach that weight loss is about calories in and calories out, and I don't believe it's that simple. Set point genetics, microbiome research are proof of that. So if he acknowledges these things, great, but his message is not consistent. John getting heated. She's backtracking so bad. Yes, I assume that anabolic diet and carb cycling are different, and that by anabolic he means muscle building, aka high protein foods, which is what I said. I was just stating how I've heard the term officially in dietetic circles. So what? You're just trying to make him look stupid is basically what you were saying there. He does eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Yep, I applauded him for all the veg, and I have no doubt they cover his micronutrient needs. He is doing great with veg. I still don't think it's a bad suggestion to add some berries for sweetness if he wanted to cut back on the artificial sweeteners, even during prep. Man, if you're going to try and tell me berries are as sweet as artificial sweeteners, come on now. Let's be real here. I'm not against using sweeteners in moderation, but when they displace nutritious foods in large quantities, I have to question if it makes nutritional sense. Well, again, if he's dieting for a show and he's trying not to add extra calories, of course he would opt for an artificial sweetener that has 0 calories versus something that is like a berry that would have calories. Granted, berries are pretty low in calories, and I eat a lot of them, but, of course that's what he would do, right? Okay. He advocates against bulking to the extreme and cutting for most people. I'm happy to see this, and it isn't a recommendation of his, and I never said that it was. But as he said here, to suggest 1,800 calories for women is too much for the average woman is incorrect. 1,800 calories is not a lot for a woman. Well, it's a lot for a woman if they're trying to lose weight, right? And again, it depends. Every woman is so different. Every person is so different. So they're when you say woman, okay, what if they're 5'8" and they weigh 250 pounds versus if they're 5'0" and they weigh 100 pounds, right? There's going to be very different needs there. So just to say for women is I don't know. It's so silly to me. Okay. He does not insist people push through injuries. I would hope not, but Greg himself stated that he was because there were no excuses. No excuses. And I do believe as influencers, we need to be responsible for the things we ourselves are doing publicly. If you want to work out with a broken ankle privately, you do you, but when you say no excuses, it communicates to everyone else struggling with some kind of injury that they have no excuse not to. Well, yeah, if someone is struggling with an injury, but there is still a way that they can get active, and maybe that will make them feel better, what is wrong with trying to say that to someone? Hey, I get that your ankle hurts, or I get that you're struggling with this, but, when I had my back injury, that's not going to make me not want to do anything. It just made me, okay, let's find a way to work around this. Okay. And so he admits he's not an RD and is just speaking from experience. So glad to hear this, but like I say about all of the YouTubers who arguably have even less expertise compared to Greg, and I do think Greg has expertise in his field. We're all responsible for the content we produce, and the fact that he is profiting off of a cookbook and his content means that people will take his recommendations as gospel. His recommendations may help a large population who are looking to lose weight. There is no doubt that Greg and I have different audiences with different goals. Exactly. That's literally the whole point. And I can absolutely acknowledge that his recommendations, i.e. eating lower volume, eating lower calorie foods, may help promote weight loss, and they're not bad recommendations. For that goal in this video, I specifically called out Greg has unique goals, and that a lot of things he is doing make sense for that context. But it's important to keep in mind that a lot of people who are looking to lose weight and who have disordered tendencies in the past will seek out this kind of weight loss content, and it may trigger them into really problematic behaviors and thoughts. That is the reason I put in these trigger warnings. That is all. Well, it's so just because there might be some people that are struggling with disordered eating problems, which I totally understand, why is it my fault, or why is it someone else's responsibility to make sure they're okay? I don't know who's always watching my content, right? And again, it's not I don't think he's even said anything that was totally insane. And And okay, so updated what I eat in a day from Aussie. So she went over his whole thing. Some thoughts: breakfast, blueberry French toast, blah blah blah. Encourages people to eat bread they want, and I said the same. The white bread keeps skip breakfast because snack, homemade, lunch. She's just going over what he ate. Greg versus Abby. Greg approach to food. Greg's approach to food: calories are king. Prioritize certain macros like protein, downplows fat, which makes sense given his roles, volume eating. All right. Well, that seems to be the updated. I think that's everything, right? Is there anything else? Do you guys know? Anyone in chat know if there's more stuff that I should be looking at? That's interesting. Patty says, as someone who has binge eating disorder, I find Abby's intuitive eating recommendations dismissive of my life experiences. Can we just appreciate how John's background is so on point? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. Well, it looks like I posted a video to the review suggestion where dietitian talks about fat phobia may have started. So it doesn't seem like anyone else is saying there's more content. So, yeah, it looks like the we'll see how it goes. Hey! Thanks, Dan. I appreciate it. Hey, John, unrelated, but I just wanted to say thank you for changing my life. You the man. Dan, I might have given you the information, but you changed your life. Also, I just realized I wore these the whole time. They weren't that bad. Maybe it'll be a good thing maybe it'll be a good thing in the long run. I wonder if he's going to make another response video, because like I said in the last stream, I love you too, Jasmine. I'm not super 100% happy with how I did my first video about them, and so I'm considered maybe making like a updated one. Because I don't want there to be like bad information out there. I'm telling you, the third is a diss track. I don't know. It's just like I don't want to be making a ton of videos on the same thing. I don't know. I don't want to be that person. I do not know. That song's stuck in my head now. She's lost all credibility with a lot of people. You think so? Do you think she's lost a lot of credibility with a lot of people from that video? Like, I think she's going to be totally fine. I think where, like, cause like this is with like YouTube and stuff, like when you have, like a controversy like this, like it seems like it's the end of the world for a little bit, but then eventually everything kind of goes back to normal, and she'll probably have, like, I wonder, let's see, if we go to her channel, I'm sure like she's gonna have a good amount of dislikes. Like, so she did a review of
Hey guys.
Makeup Kayla, and so this one, ooh, yikes. So this like to dislike ratio is also actually pretty bad. So she has 903 dislikes. I wonder if she has been deleting comments. It doesn't look like it. I mean, over 1,000 comments. So this one though, look at this. This is crazy. So this video has 14,000 dislikes compared to, like, that's insane. 14,000 dislikes on a video that only has 166,000 views. Like, it's not, but it's like compared, like having 14,000 dislikes on a video that has that many views. So let's see, there's almost 4,000 likes, right? So let's look at her other videos. And let's see. Let's go to like a normal. So let's see. This was before all the controversy happened. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, the people that like her videos. So see, look at this number is still the same, right? And so the people that like her videos are still here, and they're probably still gonna watch her videos. So I don't think that, like, it's going to completely, like, oh, her career is over, right? I think that just right now she's getting an influx. So that one has 3.2. Let's go to this one. This one has a lot more views.
Hey everyone.
So this one has 6.6, right? Versus, but this video has twice as many views. And so, I don't know. I don't think that this is going to, like, oh, her career is over now. I think that it's just, right now it's obviously there's going to be a lot of stuff that she's going through a lot of stuff right now. But again, it is all, like, I can't feel that bad for her, not because I'm empathetic always, right? I try to be at least, but it's like, yo, you brought this on yourself. Like, I'm very much aware that whenever I make a video on a person where I'm talking about someone in any capacity, I understand that I can suffer the same fate, right? Like, I can't be mad at someone for rebutting my video, and that's all Greg has done here. Is like, he's just made a rebuttal and he said, hey, you're wrong, and I disagree with what you said, and I think that what you said is wrong. And so, I don't know. It's interesting. Oh, thanks, dude. I appreciate it, bro. Thanks, man. Yeah, we, Marsh, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you always being in here and helping people out. And I appreciate everyone that's joined. I think we only got one new member today, but that's okay. But if you guys do want to, if you do want to join and support the channel and support me, I would appreciate that. So if you want to hit that join button, it's not on some mobile, I guess, but on other mobiles it is. But it's always on desktop. So if you're on your computer, you can always hit that join button, and you'll be able to use the special emojis and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been a while since I visited the channel. Facial hair, is that Evil John? Yes, I'm John's evil. I'm John's evil twin brother. Oh man, I'm so stupid. It's raining hard here. It's really hot here today. Let's see, what's the temperature? Well, it's only 81 actually. It's not that hot. But it felt hotter. All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get going. I need to eat some lunch, and I need to get this video uploaded for you guys. Full day of eating coming at you. I need to make the thumbnail still, too. And I hate making thumbnails. Yeah. I don't know. I have to think of what I want to do with the thumbnail. But it should be out here a little bit later for you guys. Danny, yes, we're still here. We're having a party. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for hanging out today. I appreciate you guys very much, and I love you very much. And if you want to watch the full stream, it's going to be in my Discord, okay? So go to the Discord, join the Discord, and I always put up the streams in the Discord in the announcements section, okay? So make sure you go ahead and do that so you guys can join and we can have some fun. Yeah. So, why is a thumbnail called a thumbnail? I have no idea. Okay, I need to go. See you guys later. Bye.